How's everybody doing, man? How art thou? How art thou, man? How art thou, man? Uh, how art thou? Everybody's doing good? Good, good, good. Ah, had another one of those nights, man. Um, let's see. Whew. Um, salute, 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 salute. Nate Ways in the building, man. Nate Ways always coming through. Op Nation Hall of Famer, man. Um, yeah, one of those nights, man. Yeah, man. You know how it is, man. Um, I gotta get over there on the Discord, man. I gotta get on the unofficial Op Nation Discord. I've been missing out on stuff, man. I've been getting some updates though. I've been getting some updates about what's going on. If you ain't part of the unofficial Op Nation Discord, man, you might want to get over there, man. The updates I've been getting are crazy. Whoever's I think it's Rami. She has the link. Whoever's got the link, man. Make sure y'all drop the link to the unofficial, because it's not me. The unofficial Op Nation Discord. You know what? I gotta put it in. I gotta put it in the description box. That's what I gotta do. Email me the link and I put it in the description box. Akintunde2 at gmail.com. Salute, man. Salute to my man Voorhees, man. Jason Voorhees. Salute to Stunner, man. Stunner coming through, man. Yeah, man. We're gonna drop that link, man, because it's a lot of stuff we gotta get into, man. I ain't even gonna call this late, man. It ain't late, man. When you got a toddler that thinks she's 22 years old, it ain't late. I'm gonna call that. That's just like my father-in-law used to say. Every man has a cross to bear, man. Every man has a cross to bear, man. You feel me? Every man has a cross to bear, man. Salute to Reverend Green, man. Reverend Green in the building. This is a new one. To a new bag of chips. Yeah, salute to you, man. Yeah, bag of chips, $5 now, man. Thank you, man. Bag of chips, $5.
I'm quick to check a bitch if she is out of line. Are you the bitch she's singing about?
Don't know.
Nikki recently released a song. It's called Hell Yeah. It's about American Idol. And she says, I'm quick to check a bitch if she is out of line. Are you the bitch she's singing about?
Don't know.
Headquarters in New York. We are interrupting regular programming to bring you some sad news. Legendary newswoman, friend, and colleague to so many here, Barbara Walters has died at the age of 93. She died peacefully at her home earlier this evening. Here's ABC's Robin Roberts with a look at her extraordinary life.
She was a reporter, a trailblazer, and a star.
Are you ready? We're rolling. We're all set? Okay, here we go. Ready? You ready? You ready?
Barbara Walters, our Barbara, was effortlessly stylish, endlessly fearless, and never afraid to ask the question many wanted answered.
You found?
Salute to Barbara Walters, man. I've been talking all this time on mute, man. Damn. Salute to Barbara Walters, man. They don't make white women. Barbara Walters is a throwback, man. She's a relic, man. They don't make white women like this no more, man. Every white woman now is trying to be the most liberal, wokest thing in the room. Barbara Walters wasn't doing that, man. She wasn't trying to be woke or liberal, even though she might pass as a wokest or a liberal. But she just asked the damn questions, man, that people wanted to hear, man. Thank you, man. Bear Bull Shark. Man, Bear Bull Shark, man. The hell are you, a singer or some shit? I gotta check you out, man. Bear Bull Shark. Salute to Blake Littleton, man. But yeah, Barbara Walters, man. Glider woman, man. Glider woman gone down, man. So sad, man.
Stylish, endlessly fearless, and never afraid to ask the question many wanted answered.
You found yourself alone with Bill Clinton in the Chief of Staff's office, and you lifted the back of your jacket and you showed the President of the United States your thong underwear. Where did you get the nerve? I mean, who does that?
Over 60 years of broadcasting, she used the question mark to build a legendary career.
Did you get married to prove that you were not gay?
No, I got married because I didn't confront the real problem in my life, that I was a drug addict.
Damn, could you imagine asking a fucking flamer? This guy's a flamer, man. This guy's man on fire. This guy is doused. He's smoking a cigarette while being doused with gasoline, man. This dude is flaming. Can you imagine asking a flamer this right now in 2020 fucking 2?
Did you get married to prove that you were not gay?
No, I got married because I didn't confront the real problem in my life, that I was a drug addict.
Can I ask you something very directly, which may seem rude? In our country, we read that you are unstable. We read that you are mad. You know that those things have been printed. Why do you think this is? Other leaders are disliked, but they're not as controversial as you are.
Look at that look. That's a. I don't know if many of y'all know about Muammar Gaddafi, man, but you got some kahunas to ask him that, man, especially as a woman, man. Muammar Gaddafi was a psychopath, man. And you know it's complicated when you lead a leader in African countries because you gotta be hardcore. If you weak, they gonna, you know what I'm saying? You can't be weak with Africans and shit. But psychopath, man. If she asked a POC, a person of color, a leader of a person of color, hit one if you think she could ask a person of color, leader of a country, this question in 2022 without fucking getting fired and shit.
Can I ask you something very directly, which may seem rude? In our country, we read that you are unstable. We read that you are mad. You know that those things have been printed. Why do you think this is? Other leaders are disliked, but they're not as controversial as you are.
She interviewed everybody we wanted to hear from.
There are those who would say that you add to the attention.
No, I don't.
Well, the masks, the mysterious behavior.
There's no mysterious behavior.
Why did you kill John Lennon?
I thought by killing him, I would acquire his fame.
You cry on this program, I won't run any of it.
It was that-
You promised me you wouldn't cry.
Man, salute to Barbara Walters, man. Salute to Barbara Walters, man. Oh yeah, she went after Trump though, man. Whew. Let me show y'all this. She went at Trump's neck, man. I ain't never seen nobody, not for nothing, I ain't never seen nobody have Trump on his heels. Because you know Trump is an alpha, man. You know, one of those alphas that never say I'm an alpha. Because you know, when you're an alpha, you don't have to say you're an alpha. But Trump is an alpha. He's an alpha who doesn't say he's an alpha. I ain't never seen Trump on his heels like this, man.
Well, the new book is entitled Surviving at the Top. There are many people who would say failing at the top.
I hope the general public understands how inherently dishonest the press in this country is.
As a member of the press, let me try to clear up some of the things which you say are untrue. You write in your book, my bankers and I worked out a terrific deal that allows me to come out stronger than ever. I see the deal as a great victory, and eventually the rest of the world will too. Being on the verge of bankruptcy, being bailed out by the banks,
Well, you don't have to say on the verge
skating
of
on thin ice and almost drowning, that's a businessman to be admired.
You say on the verge of bankruptcy, Barbara, and you talk on the verge, and you listen to what people are
I
saying.
talk to your bankers.
Well, that's fine. And what do they say? I mean, you know, depending on which banker you're talking to, what do they say? I'm the only one people write about. I mean, they don't write about other people.
You have a little more debt than most people. You're something like $3 billion
I
in
also
debt.
have a little more assets than most people.
Okay, you have debts to pay back.
Right.
You have huge loans to pay back. You say the country is in a depression. What makes you think that you can pay back those loans? And further, what your bankers have told us is that the only way you even have a chance is by selling that property out there totally, the plaza.
Well, I don't know what the bankers have said. The plaza is a very valuable property. Everybody told me, oh, you paid too much, you paid too much. Now they're all saying what a great deal he made on the plaza.
You yourself said that you saw your children maybe once a week. You're having a lot of difficulties with your 12-year-old son, Donna. You haven't talked to him since May. Do you believe in fidelity in marriage?
Yes, absolutely, I do.
In the current issue of Vanity Fair, the author Marie Brenner says that you read from Hitler's collected speeches, My New Order, and that these are speeches that you seem to admire. What's your reaction? Do you have this book?
A friend of mine.
Trump read from Hitler. Trump was a fan of Hitler. Oh shit.
Yes, absolutely, I do.
In the current issue of Vanity Fair, the author Marie Brenner says that you read from Hitler's collected speeches, My New Order, and that these are speeches that you seem to admire. What's your reaction? Do you have this book?
A friend of mine sent me a book a man who I think is Jewish, although I don't know.
Is. Can you tell me what your relationship with Donald Sterling is?
I'm Mr. Sterling's right-hand arm man. I'm Mr. Sterling everything. I'm his confidant, his best friend, his silly rabbit.
His what?
His silly rabbit.
His silly rabbit?
Yes.
Is that what he calls you?
No.
Can you tell?
Oh shit! Shout out to Male Monkey, man. Oh yeah, let me drop the link, man. Damn, I forgot to drop the link. They ain't tell me. Let me drop. Oh, I did drop it in Rumble. I just didn't drop it in I ain't drop it in over here. Over here, man, in these YouTube streets, man. Let me drop it in these YouTube streets, man. Let me drop the link, man. Shout out to Barbara Walters, man. Barbara Walters, an icon, man. And that's not. I'm old, man. Like I'm 44, man. Barbara Walters is an icon, man. You can't take nothing from her, man. You can't take nothing from Barbara Walters, man. I'm an icon. I'm an old head, man. She's an icon, man. You can't take nothing from her, man. You can't take nothing from Barbara Walters, man. What's up, what's up, Tory? We got a Tory disciple here, man.
I'm a disciple of whom you say?
A Tory Lanez, man. See, Stunner, man. I ain't even pat myself on the back, man. Wicked. Oh, I got my man Wicked in here. Wicked, did you hear the new did you hear the jail conversations, man, from Tory Lanez, man?
I still don't think he did it, all right?
Yo, they still doing that too. Yeah, some man can never admit that you're wrong. Huh?
You may want to take victory laps, but 100 with you, man. I've moved on again.
That's cool.
Do you
think he did it, Stunner? Do you think he did it?
I ultimately stand on what I said. He put himself in this situation being around such people. So you lay with dogs, you get fleas, man.
So he shot her though, right? But did he shoot her though?
I don't know what happened, man. All I know is that somehow he supposedly shot her, but a female's DNA was on the gun. I don't know.
Supposedly shot her. He shot that bitch, bro.
Exactly. So again, explain the DNA. But again, I've moved on.
What does that have to do with it? Hold on. What does the DNA have to do with it? All that means
it has nothing to do with nothing, bro.
All that means is that the woman handled the gun.
It has nothing to do with nothing. You're right.
He could have wiped it. I mean, who knows?
You're right. Y'all and Megan the male horse, y'all are all good.
But wow. You heard? Did you hear the call, Stunner?
I don't care anymore.
But did you hear it?
Stunner going full Sun Man on.
I have not heard it.
You should hear it, brother.
I have not heard any or seen anything else about that case.
Stunner, you really going to sit here and go full Sun Man?
Yo, play it, Chief. You got to play
100% Sun Man on us, man.
Why am I going to continue to argue a moot point, man? The dude is going to jail. Whatever.
Yo, Chief, play it for
whatever more evidence y'all talking about. Whatever, man. Y'all good.
I'm disappointed, man. I thought you was a reasonable guy, man. Stunner going full Sun Man on us. It's old news now, man. Yesterday it was, it was chest beating. He was he had his, he was adamant. Now the tape come out and Stunner talking about something.
That's old shit. That's
old like a week ago.
Oh,
and again,
about a week ago,
we moved on.
Damn, Stunner. So we got some new people here. Who's this Cold Son? Who are you, man?
What up, man? Hey, normally it say Code 187.
Oh, okay. What's up, man? How's it going?
Man, hanging in there, trying to see what the fam talking about.
Yo, do you think Tory shot Olga?
Of course not.
Sunman, man. Them Sunman is hard. They're hard, man.
Hey,
They're
listen,
hard.
man, it's cold sun, man. Straight up.
Yeah, these Sunmen. Hold on, let me play the video, man. Let me play the tape, the conversation.
This is a free call from
Tory.
an inmate at LAPD jail. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. Press.
They tell you right there that the call is subject to recording. Will you admit this though, Stunner, that there's no solutions? Huh? Will you just give us that?
There's no solutions, man.
This is a free call from
Tory.
an inmate at LAPD jail. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. Press 1 to accept the call. To deny this call, thank you for using Telmate.
Hello.
Hey.
Y'all got out safe and anything.
Huh?
Y'all got out and everything. Y'all good.
Maybe still in the hospital. I'm outside the hospital.
What hospital y'all at?
About what?
You said what?
You're listening to Street
I
TV.
said Megan's in the hospital still. I'm outside the hospital waiting.
What hospital are you at?
I don't know. Let me see. Cedar, something like that. Cedar.
Yo, bro.
Sure.
Regardless, I know she probably never ever gonna talk to me ever again, but bruh, I just want you to know, bruh. Nigga, I was just so fucking drunk, nigga. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. That ass. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. Like that ass, nigga. I'd never do some shit like that, bro.
Why does he keep calling this female bro and nigga?
That's what I'm trying to understand.
Like, what's wrong with this culture, man?
Right. And they speak the same way that females do.
Yes, bro. Everything is bro.
And they're just so vulgar, man. Like females are just vulgar these days.
Yo,
But,
I love how he asked if she was all right after shooting her. Are you good?
Is at some point he gonna say he shot her, or I mean, because
No, this is not Meg. He's talking to Meg's assistant. See, what people like Stunner are saying is that Meg's assistant shot her.
This is who I believe because he piped.
Absolutely. That's
Again,
what
I'm not relitigating the case, but I'm asking.
But will you admit that you didn't know a lot of stuff that was the jury got? Because remember, the bloggers that were covering it were trying to keep shit going. The jury heard this, and we didn't know that the jury heard this. None of the bloggers told us that the jury heard this.
Is he going to say he shot somebody at some point, or
damn near said it right now?
But reasonable. But
oh no, he was just saying he was drunk. He might have been just flirting with was it Kylie that was there?
Okay, keep it rolling now. Let's see how that far they go with this.
Salute, who's this guy? Let's talk, man. Who's Let's Talk? Who are you? This sound like a troll, man. Let's Talk going once. Let's Talk going twice. Let's
they got
talk
the banjo going.
Gone. All right. Let's see, man. So this is Meg's assistant, who's kind of like a square college type girl that got into the game because she's got a degree and all that stuff, and she's a working girl. She
AKA shooter.
She's not like she's not into that world. She's a manager type chick that she would be a manager of Garth Brooks if he hired her. You know what I'm saying? She's just a manager. You know what I'm saying?
No. Let me see. Cedar, something like that. Cedar.
Yo, bro.
Sure.
Regardless, I know she probably never ever gonna talk to me ever again, but bruh, I just want you to know, bruh. Nigga, I was just so fucking drunk, nigga. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. That ass. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. Like that ass, nigga. I'd never do some shit like that, bro. Just to nigga, I was so fucking drunk, nigga. I just didn't even understand what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, so whatever. Bro. But
So you think Meg is in the hospital?
Are we
shot.
gonna hear a confession, or are we gonna keep hearing all
Hold on,
this whispering?
Stunner. Would a reasonable person, someone who's reasonable, conclude with Meg in the hospital, shot, him,
regardless, that's not
him in jail for shooting her? The manager, Megan's assistant, who's fucking him, calling her. Now remember, here's the theory.
He was
Tory's about to do
He was
22.
smashing Meg too, right?
Right. Tory's about to do 20 years. Somebody breathing like shit on this motherfucker. Somebody fucking or something? Like that. This is we're supposed to believe that Tory's gonna do 20 years because he not gonna tell the world that this is the shooter. This girl shot her boss, and Tory took the rap for it.
She's
went
not
to
just her
trial
boss.
and refused.
She's not just her boss, Ock. They were best friends.
This is Tory.
That heightens the emotional part of this.
But Tory's about to do 20 years for this broad, according to y'all theory.
But
That's
he
the
didn't
part
know.
that
I don't have a theory.
We don't
I'm
know who shot.
me. I'm not riding with any group or any theories.
Yo, I with friends like that, who needs enemies?
Tory's a
let's,
damn
let, let's hear the whole conversation like the jury did.
Please.
Okay, no problem. But let me just tell you this. I'll play it all the way
You
through.
keep stopping it and then rewinding it, but he's not
I'll play it all the
admitting to
way
anything.
through. I will play it all the way through. But let me tell you this, though. I just want to tell you this. Be reasonable, Stunner.
Be objective.
Don't be a son man. Don't be Stunner.
I
Be
am.
Stunner.
I know.
Be
I know.
objective, bro.
I
Be
know
objective.
that there was an argument at the Jenner's house. There was an argument in the car. Things were very personal. Things were said back and forth.
No, you're trying to say that he's talking about. He's not talking about shooting her in this incident.
This is a free call from
Tory.
an inmate at LAPD jail. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. Press 1 to accept the call. To deny this call, thank you for using Telmate.
Fast forward this part.
Hello.
Hey.
Y'all got out safe and everything.
Huh?
Y'all got out and everything. Y'all good?
Megan's still in the hospital. I'm outside the hospital.
What hospital y'all at?
About what?
You said what?
You're listening to Street
I
TV.
said Megan's in the hospital still. I'm outside the hospital waiting.
What hospital are you at?
I don't know. Let me see. Cedar, something like that. Cedar.
Yo, bro.
Sure.
Regardless, I know she probably never ever gonna talk to me ever again, but bruh, I just want you to know, bruh. Nigga, I was just so fucking drunk, nigga. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. That ass. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. Like that ass, nigga. I'd never do some shit like that, bro. Just the nigga, I was so fucking drunk, nigga. I just didn't even understand what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, so whatever, bro. But regardless, that's not gonna make anything right, and that's not gonna make my actions right, bro. But I'm just deeply sorry, bro. I never even moved like that, bro. Like, never moved like that at all, bro. Like, for real, dog.
I know. There's a lot that happens, but
A whole lot, bro. Like, a whole lot, bro. I feel crazy, bro. But in this day, like, what happened already, bro. I can't take it back, bro. I'm just telling y'all, I'm sorry, bro. Like,
You're listening to Street TV.
I think it was just too drunk, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I got to the house, shorty, like, all top niggas, they gave me like 5 shots, like, off the door, like, you feel me? So I was out of there, like, wasn't in there with niggas, like, you feel me? We was taking shots past that time. I wasn't even there with niggas, like, bro. I don't even remember what we was even arguing about, bro. Like, you feel me? Like,
yeah, no, I don't
I was already fucked up by the time you got there, so I don't know how much.
It's like, you know, but tell me what hospital she's in.
You're listening to Street TV.
I just told you, Cedar Medical.
Alright, you ain't got Quan's number, right? You ain't got my security number.
Quan, I do have his number.
Can you call this nigga Quan and tell this nigga, bruh, you get a chance, bro, just figure out what you gotta do to bail me out this shit.
Okay.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I'm sorry again, bro. Like,
I think honestly, I think we're gonna try to, because obviously, like, the longer you're in there, the more hot it's gonna get, because you know it's already on. Like, there's no names released yet, but the report is already out. You know.
but like, out is what? What you mean out?
It's on some app. You know, Megan's team is on top of this.
Yeah, but like, niggas don't. There's no way that Megan's on like the thing.
No, there's no, what'd you say?
There's no way that Megan's like on the thing.
You're listening to Street TV.
No. So far, none of that is there. But I mean,
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be one of those. If anything, the only nigga that's gonna get this backlash is me. It's not gonna be her. But
I'll let you know.
Alright, it is what it is. Regardless if I get out of here today or not, bro, I just wanna let y'all know, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I never did that shit if I wasn't that drunk, bro. Like, you feel me?
Yeah.
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
Get out of here, you heard?
You're listening to Street TV.
I can't hear you.
Yeah,
Hello?
Yo, maybe he just spilled a drink on her. That's what he's talking about.
Nah, I think he's talking about
shooting her,
not putting the seat back, because you know how when the woman get in the car, you got to put the seat back for her and shit. I
right?
think that's what
Maybe he opened the door for her, you know?
Yeah, he didn't open the door for her. That's what he's talking about. That's what all this is about. While he's in prison, while he's in jail, and Meg's in the hospital shot. He's in jail for shooting her.
We know what they were arguing about.
He don't even know, man. He just told you he don't know what they were arguing about.
Yeah, man. You gotta understand. Like, he said he was so drunk, and she's not contesting that. She's not like, come on.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just wondering what they were arguing about.
I heard that it was about somebody screwed somebody and da 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 da. Where's Stunner, man? Stunner, you still there, man? You ain't punk out on us, did you? Salute to Miss Milf Mandy. She says, I'm working, but got my hair down to hide the earbuds, so I'm listening. Love y'all, man. Salute to Milf Mandy, man.
Stunner, be real, brother. Be objective. Come on. What's he talking about?
Be reasonable, man.
What's that? What happened?
Be reasonable, Stunner. Like
what was they arguing about? Is that what you asked me?
No. What is he talking about? What is he so sorry about?
I don't know, bro. I guess shooting her.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good guess.
Yes, man. Yeah. Y'all dudes terrible, man. Y'all can't just take the L. Just take the L. Cold Sun, man. What's going on, Cold Sun, man? What they talking about, man?
Listen, he's just saying that the whole situation got out of hand. You could tell he's not even nervous. He don't feel like nothing that crazy happened.
He sounds hungover. He sounds like
look, man, the man wasn't confessing to shooting her. Like, he was just saying, man, I messed with all these chicks being sloppy.
Can I ask you one thing?
Cold. Just let it go, man.
Yeah, just let it happen.
Just let it, I mean, because you and I both know, again, I'm sure you agree, he was with stupid people.
Yeah,
stupid place at stupid times.
He sound like a stupid motherfucker too. Like, he's
acting like Tory's like some nerd, like getting his law degree from Columbia. And he hung out with these chicks on the weekend. Like,
they took him for a ride. He didn't know where he was going.
It's the same ratchet. They just ratchet with a little bit more money.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's all it is.
Man, the thing that got me, man, if I could say something, the thing that got me with, like, that made me change my mind about the whole Tory situation, that made me think a little bit more he might have done it.
Right.
Was that he kept calling her nigga and bro. Like once you put like you change the
That's
idea of a woman. Like I'm just saying like when you change the idea like you start looking at a chick like a nigga or a bro like
You can
I
shoot her.
definitely you can
bro.
shoot
You're
her man.
not
It makes it
okay.
easier
Let me
to
tell you
shoot her.
something,
It makes
bro.
it easier.
You're not in the son community enough if you find that to even be a thing.
Right. I was gonna say I don't know
No,
about that one.
calling a woman that. No. I don't. Hold on, time. Calling. That's not from in my generation. We call them, Miss Lady.
We ain't talking about that generation. I'm in my 40s.
Hold on,
I'm talking about what
Shorty.
they doing currently, bro.
I
That's
got
what
I got you, man. I feel you on that.
But what I'm saying is the culture is degenerating.
Oh,
It'll be
absolutely.
like, hey, Shorty, come on, Shorty, go ahead, Shorty. Like oh, Miss Lady, man, man, it's John, man. It was. They had specific terms for them, and we had specific terms for us.
Yeah.
All my niggas and all my bitches. Even if they was bitches, they wasn't niggas. They was bitches.
Yep, exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. And once you start labeling them as niggas and bros, like it's easy to put a hit on them and like
even before that, those
like you can still do it. Like it's still easy
Tory's
nowadays.
not
It
like
doesn't
that,
matter. But I'm just saying, once
You
label
said
them,
Tory's not like that. Do you know that Tory grew up in a fucking in a very rough that dad of his that dad that everyone is falling in love with, that everybody's saying is so great. That dad it's really not what you think it is. Tory grew up very, very rough. Tory's a fucking hood booger.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not. But I'm saying if you listen to that phone call, a man that just bust his gun, he don't even sound like he got
not
faith.
like that. Hold on.
You still want to chase your tail, huh, Colt, son?
Can I
You still
listen
want
to
to chase
this?
your tail, huh?
Listen to this. Listen to this though. Listen to this. Later, this is what they're talking about. This was written about Tory. Later that year, his father remarried the man who you saw screaming about Rock Nation. Got something to do with her.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Later that year, Tory's father remarried, and the family moved to Atlanta. So all this Canada shit, okay, all this Canada shit. Okay, in 2006, Tory was sent to New York. This is fucking 16 years ago. 2006, Tory was sent to New York from Atlanta. So we got Atlanta, now New York, to live with his mom's friend in a last-ditch effort to change his troubled ways. Okay, so this is a troubled teen. Like all of us probably were at some point, but this is like a real troubled teen. Tory ain't like us where it's like, you know what I'm saying, we got in a little bit of trouble. Tory's a fucking little 5'1" dude with a huge chip on his shoulder.
Like he might shoot a female kind of shit, right?
Yeah, like he's the type of guy that might shoot a chick who dissed his music. Soon after Tory was forced to return to Toronto. So now he's back in Canada after nobody in the United States could deal with him. They shipped his ass off to Canada. His grandmother refused to care for him. So look, not me, Stunner, not me, not the white supremacists, not Klux Klan, not pasty liberals. His own grandmother refused to care for him. And at 15, Tory was on his own. He says, I ended up moving downtown with these three dudes that I didn't really know. I came into the house and I didn't realize how things worked. From like 15 to 18, I was just fighting them. I fought like every day. And these were like older dudes. It was every man for himself. That's what made me a man. Having to fend for myself and being in a situation where there's no dad. Okay, so that dude that was screaming outside about how he got thousands of children, I'm not only Tory's dad, he let his son live in a house apartment with three strange men from 15 to 18. He kicked his son out and sent him to New York and then to fucking Canada. His own father, his own grandmother couldn't deal with him, wouldn't refuse to take him in.
They didn't want to get shot.
But you got to understand, like this whole thing with Tory, that everyone's acting like he wouldn't do this or he just. I think when somebody sing R&B like Bobby Brown, I come from Bobby Brown era. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not used to R&B dude meaning that you a fucking saint. I'm not from this era where just because you sing R&B you a saint. I'm from the Bobby Brown era, my nigga. Christopher Wilson. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I heard MC Hammer used to tote that thing too. I heard
MC
he
Hammer,
mess with.
MC Hammer was the most honorable dude in hip hop, man. Nobody ever fucking said something about him and didn't get addressed face to face. I'm talking about like Hammer wasn't like going to dish you on no song. He came and synced you
himself.
Exactly. And was like, what's goody, my G? And all of them niggas back down because Hammer was a real dude. But
That's
what I'm
before,
saying
like,
is,
gangsta
I ain't
ass,
from this era where, oh, he's singing. He wouldn't shoot a bitch. I don't know that. I don't know that. I just know he a son, man. He grew up rough. He a hood booger. He a whole son team. This is would you say that this is the story of a son team stunner? Is this story? Right. This is just this is the story. These are the kids we read about in this when we see in the stories that we cover here. This is a guy who was abandoned by his father, not once, not twice, but 3 times just in this one article. This is a guy who, lived on his own from 15 to 18. We're not talking about fucking Stedman Poindexter. So he said, despite his struggles, Tory never gave up on his music. And over the next few years, the aspiring crooner built a local fan base via sporadically released material and shows before catching the attention of Justin Bieber. So a white guy gave him this break, the racist white guy, Justin Bieber. So yeah, typical Southern man shit all the way around. This is the sunniest story I ever read. But yeah, man, Tory shot that girl, man. And if Kelsey did it and Tory gonna do 20 years for her, he a fool. I snitch, man. If that girl, if the sliver of half of 1/10 of 1 billionth of 1% that Kelsey shot her boss, I would tell you this, man. Tory, snitch, man. Snitch on that bitch. Don't go do 20 years for that bitch and this bitch out here fucking niggas. She doing trains, getting trains ran on her and fucking sucking from the back and all types of shit, eating groceries, and you in there doing time and shit. Leave it. Snitch on her, Tory. Because if she shot Meg, how could you be away from your kids, man, for 20 years and just let this chick be out here eating groceries, man? What you think about that, Stunner? What you think about that, Stunner?
Stunner said EBG for life, baby.
EBT. I'm just saying, man, like I would snitch, man. I wouldn't care what none of you niggas. I snitch and I come over here. I'd be like Tekashi. I'd be like, yeah, I snitch. You damn straight. I ain't doing
I can't put no logic into any of this, man. It's just like I said. You try, and then they say that you on this nigga's bandwagon and shit. I'm just trying to apply some kind of logic to the
just
shit.
The snitching part. The snitching part. Sorry. Stunner. Stay with me, Stunner. The bitch Kelsey shot Meg. We going with that. Should Tory snitch?
No.
Y'all crazy as a motherfucker.
What about you, Cole, son? What about you?
Oh no, I mean I'm not going to jail over no bitch.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
Yeah,
I don't think he knows what happened, but I don't think he did it. I think he really don't know. I think he was crazy. That's a little motherfucker, bro.
Hold on, but he didn't get on the stand and say he didn't say that though. He didn't even say that what you just said.
I mean, motherfuckers get scary when they up in there. I don't know. It just from everything I heard, bro, it just don't sound like this nigga pulled out no fucking gun and dumped on this bitch. It just don't sound like that. It sounds like
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. We have a contained situation. We have Meg's bodyguard, who reasonable person can assume that Meg's bodyguard didn't shoot her. So let's break it down to the other three people that are in the car. Meg, who was shot, so we know she didn't shoot herself. So you have two people left. So it's not like we're talking about the whole world. It's not like the butler did it. You know what I'm saying? Just it's a contained situation. So of Kelsey and Tory, one of them shot her. So if Tory's going to do 20 years in prison, and he's saying he didn't shoot her, by now he should have information that the other person shot her. Why didn't he come forward with that information?
I mean, who knows? I mean, but I know she's got immunity though, so it really don't matter. They gave her some kind of ridiculous immunity.
Got immunity late. He had 2 years. He had 2 years. She just got immunity last week. This happened 2 years ago. When did come on, man? You're not talking to some Sun Man YouTuber, man, with a fucking IQ of 15, man. This is Ock Nation, man. Come on, man. She just got immunity last week, man. What happened in the 2 years? Why didn't he bring that up in the last 2 years?
Listen, I ain't got all the answers. Like I say, I mean, he might have shot the bitch. I mean, you have a very convincing argument. I'm not gonna say you do not. You know what I mean? It's just the story, the way it was coming out, didn't seem like that. Now, fuck him now.
What you talking about argument? I'm just asking you questions. I ain't arguing shit.
I think he knows what it is, but they just don't want to. I think that's what he's trying to say right now.
If I was the argument, if I had an argument, man, I could get both of these people off. I could get fucking Tory off, and I could get the fucking get the girl off if she was charged.
Johnny Cochran.
Yeah, I'd be Johnny Cochran out this bitch. But I just want to know. I literally want to know, like, because I've been watching this on other channels, and no one. I'm talking about like it'd be like 8,000 people in the chat, and no one asked none of these questions.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
No one's gonna ask. No one is gonna type like the chat. Don't record. Nobody asks none of these questions.
Hell no. No, definitely not.
Wow.
I mean, I get that we don't fuck with Meg, but
this is 2 years ago.
Yeah,
TMZ was over this shit in 6 months.
Yeah, because it was clear he shot her. It's like there's no fucking a reasonable person who's not a hip hop fan, that's a nurse, a fucking custodian. Just they answered the call to jury duty. Somebody in the community who just like, oh, this guy, here's the situation. This guy and this girl, da, da, da. A reasonable person hears this and be like, oh yeah, he shot her.
I'm pretty sure they went on Instagram and looked at who had more like
that's right.
retweets.
It comes down to have more, who got more likes and shit. That's right. Yeah. But let's move along, man. I mean, I think Stunner, we got Stunner turned into a mute, man. I ain't heard Stunner.
Stunner's stunned.
Yeah, Stunner is stunned, man. God damn. Let's move along though, man, because it's time to get into some real shit, man. Thank you guys for being patient while we had to do the Sunman shit, man. We had to get our Sunman on, man. I'm still a Sunman, I mean, listen, man. They say, man, you're cool, man. You hate yourself. I'm like, man, shit. You think I hate myself? You crazy as a mother. That's you. Nigga, I'm a Sunman. I love myself. Man.
Love me some me.
Sunman love themselves. Yeah, they just don't know. Some men love themselves, man. If I see Janet Jackson walk down the street, I try to holler at her, man. I'm a son, man.
Straight up, because sometimes you just win.
I harass Janet. I'll be like, Miss Lady, where you going? Can we be friends? All right, can I get you? Can you give me your IG? You on Twitter? I'd be harassing the shit out of Janet Jackson, man. I'm a son, man.
Fuck you then.
Yeah, and then y'all be like, and I like no cap though. I might hit literally though.
Straight
like,
up. That's what I'm saying. Like you know this. If you swing, listen, if you bat 300, you're an all-star. You know what I'm saying?
That was good, man.
Yo, and if
Got
she
some
says no, you
breaking
can just
news
beat her
unfolding in
ass, you know?
Southeast DC
Right.
that you need to know about. Less than 2 hours ago, police confirmed a man died after being shot. You're looking at some new video from the scene on 12th Street. Now, police haven't said who pulled the trigger or what led up to this. Sadly, this marks DC's 203rd homicide of 2022. Now, the DC Police Union says this is the first time in 2 decades that more than 200 people were killed now 2 years in a row. The union chairman is criticizing the
You got feedback, Cole, son.
Hold up.
Man, or you guys just drop that feedback, man. But yeah, this is the first time in 20 years they said that 200 people been killed 2 years in a row. Like, it's getting worse, man. It's getting worse.
2 decades that more than 200 people were killed now 2 years in a row. The union chairman is criticizing the council for overhauling the criminal code and putting in measures that he says stops officers from doing their jobs.
It's incredibly unfortunate. It's incredibly tragic. And we're hoping that cooler heads will prevail at some point and we can try to roll back some of these policies to try to get some of these neighborhoods back to where they need to be. The whole system is broken, if you ask us. I mean, the policing, prosecutions, criminal justice, supervision, it all needs a complete overhaul at this point.
And we checked the numbers with DC Police. The numbers of homicides are down this year, 11% compared to last year.
A 17-year-old now facing a manslaughter charge after investigators say he pointed and fired a shotgun at a coworker. KPRC2's Rowan Balogan is joining us live from the Harris County Sheriff's Office with the latest on this case. Rowan, good morning.
Sophia, good morning. Investigators say the victim had both of her co-workers, who are both 17 years old, over her home the other night, helping to take down Christmas decorations. Now, new Sheriff County investigative reports explains exactly what happens next.
Family identifies the victim of an overnight shooting on Beaumont Highway near Crosby as 19-year-old Marissa Dykeman.
What we know right now at this point is that the female who lives at the residence was with two male co-workers, taking down Christmas decorations.
Sergeant Greg Pinkins with the sheriff's office said at some point, one of the two 17-year-old co-workers got a hold of a gun. The sheriff's department homicide report states, quotes, one of the males pointed and discharged a shotgun, striking the victim. Dykeman was pronounced dead by first responders. Authorities identified the male as 17-year-old Cayman Wilson. The case.
Give me an ID on Cayman Wilson.
He's a glider like
That's
a
glider.
Cayman?
That's why they named him.
Yeah, feels glattery.
I'm gonna say Sunman.
He's named after an African crocodile.
Yeah. Cayman, a Cayman, yeah. So what do you think, man? What do you think the ID on this kid is?
Sunman.
Sunman.
You think it's son?
Yeah.
It's a son brother.
He said, yeah.
Son brother.
But you're just saying that because you're a racist glider, Bayo, man. Give us a
I'm saying that off the name Cayman.
Wilson. The case classified as manslaughter.
That same report states that Wilson is in booking here at the Harris County Sheriff's Jail. We've reached out to the Sheriff's Office for additional information, and once we get that, we'll make sure to share it online at clicktohouston.com. Reporting live downtown Houston, Roman Balogan, KPRC 2 News.
Rowan, thank you.
And a story you only see here on TV, Reed's mother speaks exclusively to our Richard Solomon.
Andrew, Megan Reed, Sinday's mother, tells me she's standing off the strength her other kids give her and to get justice for her son. And this is something she will not stop doing until it's done.
October 12th, that morning, Sinday woke up.
Megan Reed remembers that day like it just happened. A day that will never escape her mind. Her son, Sinday Reed.
He loved to laugh just like me. Like he thought everything was funny.
He just started middle.
Oh my God, you people are fucking so predictable, man. Like it's literally like Yo, what the fuck? 13 years and all you've raised is a fucking laugher and a joker who's shooting at a grown man in public.
He loved to laugh just like me. Like he thought everything was funny.
He just started middle school. He was only 13 years old.
He's still a baby. Whether he had teen behind his years, he's still a baby. And my baby had a lot of years left.
This day that she can't forget. Columbus police found Sensei shot in his Wedgwood apartment neighborhood.
I see him laying on the ground. I seen there was blood like everywhere around him. I couldn't go to him. I couldn't hold him. I couldn't tell him that it was going to be okay.
Real tears, man.
That's a
Real
first.
tears. Yeah, man. And listen, man, I get it. She's upset, but I mean, come on. Your son was out there shooting in a gunfight with a grown man, and they're covering the story heavy.
Okay.
Police arrested 36-year-old Craig Butler that next day. Court records from October show that Butler was charged with murder in municipal court. But
this is why a teen getting killed in Blakistan is such a big story. That's why they picked this piece of nat shit out of a fucking goddamn big ass bowl of pepper because a white man did it.
days later, the charges against him were dismissed, and prosecutors have not yet refiled charges in the common pleas court. According to the prosecutor on the case is still under review and pending further consideration. In a statement from Franklin County prosecuting attorney Gary Tyak, he said, quote, "It is standard practice for almost every felony case filed in municipal court to be dismissed." Further saying, this particular case is still under review for possible presentation to the grand jury. But it has not been presented as of now. And now, months later, community members and activists are raising concern, asking about the investigation. And a mourning mother is vowing to fight for justice.
There's been a lot of babies that have been shot down, gunned down, and nothing has happened.
Yeah, because they were all shot down by black people.
Straight up. And listen, you know how right he has to be in to be a glider and not being hanging from a tree right now? Like, he has to be very right for them to do this. And the only reason they even leaving that statement up is because they got to say something.
Yeah. Salute to Margaret G, man. Salute to Margaret G. She said, "Have a sunny new year." Salute to Margaret G. I think that I don't think he'd be hanging from a tree, but I think that he would be fucking charged. Like just like George Zimmerman when they knew they didn't have a case, but they just brought the charges to appease the Sun community. Just like with Michael Brown, when they just brought the charges to appease the Sun community. They do that a lot where they just bring charges on somebody knowing they're not going to be found guilty in court to appease us. They're not even doing that with this one because the kid was on camera busting his gun at the guy and the guy fired back.
So I needed to start with my son.
And 10 TV will hear more about the community fight for justice during an event planned this Sunday.
New Orleans will be packed with people, not only for the Sugar Bowl, but also celebrating New Year's Eve. And city leaders want to make sure you stay safe, so they're calling in reinforcements. Eleanor Tabone has what people can expect to see while they're out and about this weekend.
Days ago, a person was shot here at the intersection of Bourbon and Toulouse. With this weekend set to be one of the busiest with the Sugar Bowl and New Year's Eve, NOPD is calling in help to protect residents.
Look at all these fucking gliders. This is the safest place in the world, man. The only thing, think about it. Two, it would take 2 years. 2 Sunmen could be down here and there would be a shooting. 2 Sunmen who didn't know each other. One could be coming this way, one could come in that way. And if at some point during all this shit, those 2 Sunmen cross paths, it would be a shooting down there. That's sick, man.
And tourists.
We have a heavy foot vehicle and traffic presence in that area and around the quarter.
Interim Police Chief Michelle Woodfork says NOPD is beefing up its patrols as the city's population swells.
Yeah, remember remember we did the story on her the other day. The black dude resigned. He couldn't take it no more. And they named her.
NOPD is beefing up its patrols as the city's population swells this weekend. More than 250 additional officers and 25 state troopers will patrol the French Quarter and downtown this weekend.
Folks out there who are violating with weapons or any other crime, we're going to take police action. We're going to do what we have to do.
New Orleans is on track to be the deadliest city in the nation this year. From just Wednesday to Thursday this week, there were at least 10 shootings and one person died.
The OPCD has elevated to level 2 staffing. That means that we have doubled our staff at 911 to handle these calls.
But some tourists are completely unaware of the city's spiraling crime problem. 2 days ago, one person was shot at this intersection right here. Does that concern you?
Yeah, I didn't know about that, but
yeah, I'm a glider, man. We just don't do these type of things. I mean, we come out, it can be a trillion of us out here in the streets all drunk. And
Yeah. Hey man, I'm gonna be real with you, Ak. When you show these videos, the sun man come out of me, and I be looking at him. I'm like, man, that's a target. That's a mark. That's a mark. I can get something quick from that person.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. These are all victims, but this guy, he can't believe that. Like, what do you mean someone shot here? What are you talking about?
There's all this fun going on. We're just drinking, hollering at bitches. What's going on?
He's expecting to see teddy bears and candles on the corner if somebody got shot.
Straight up.
Completely unaware of the city's spiraling crime problem. 2 days ago, one person was shot at this intersection right here. Does that concern you?
yeah, I didn't know about that, but yeah, it's kind of concerning.
Others say they'll be very vigilant while in town.
I'm a tourist from Boise, Idaho, but I have been reading about it.
Boise, Idaho, man, you got a lot to worry about. Y'all had 4 whole murders last year, man. And we about to talk about all 4 of the murders y'all had in a minute. You know, we about to talk about the 4 murders y'all had in y'all city, in y'all state, man. In 1 minute, we coming up. Give me like 5 to 10 minutes. We gonna get into the Idaho thing, University of Idaho.
New Orleans being the most dangerous city in the United States, it makes me more cautious.
One visitor says he's planning to move here, but says it comes with risks.
I would like to carry something to protect myself. You know, it's a tragedy that's the case.
Revelers are also urged not to drive drunk, and officers will be watching the roads this weekend. Eleanor Tabone, Eyewitness News.
Hey, I looked up Cayman.
New Orleans will be packed with people.
You got Cayman Wills, put it in the back chat.
I think somebody
He's
put
a
it in
glider.
the back already. A
Oh,
whole
glider?
glider. A whole
Yeah,
glider.
he's a glider.
Thank you.
The mail was wrong, man. Who thinks
Yeah,
this guy?
glider.
Well, it is negligent. He's being charged with negligent manslaughter. So
Just as well.
He's a glider. He's a black man. They'd be fucking charging with triple murder.
They threw him under the prison.
Yeah. Murder, capital murder, man. But listen, who thinks this guy's gonna draw down on the Sun Man if he sees the Sun Man looking at him funny?
Never.
That's a free weapon right there.
No, I think he's.
Let's
I think he's actually might be a trigger happy ass. Glider.
You never
He might
know.
just be
Yeah, I was gonna
shooting.
say that.
He might just be.
that's
shooting
New
every
Orleans
Sun
Bernie
Man he
Gates
sees.
right there, man.
Exactly.
There's not enough of those trigger happy gliders.
He might be a marksman. You know these gliders.
Looks can be deceiving.
Not this guy.
I don't know because he was the first. He's the one person to even bring. He's the one person to bring up. You know, he think it'd be good if he can carry something to protect himself.
True. Very true.
Yeah,
I
the
would
fact
like
that he
to
said
carry
it.
something to protect myself.
Yeah, he thinks a lot about that shit.
Yeah, but what's the point of having it if you're not like you gotta we talk about all the time, like yo, you gotta be like instant. You gotta be Billy the Kid with that shit. You gotta be Doc Holliday with that shit.
Ringo.
Mayo and Mossy on that.
Yeah.
Gotta be Johnny Ringo.
It's a tragedy that's the case.
Revelers are also urged not to drive drunk, and officers will be watching the roads this weekend. Eleanor Tabone, Eyewitness News.
Here at home, an arrest has also been made in a highway shooting that claimed the life of a beloved teacher. Local 10's Christian De La Rosa is live at the jail in Fort Lauderdale, where that suspect is still behind bars tonight. Christian.
Louis, the suspected murderer, was arrested in Pembroke Pines, and the victim's family tells us tonight they're relieved he's off the streets.
This was so unfair. This was so unfair to her. She did not deserve this.
Detectives say 21-year-old Jacoby Williams is the man who opened fire from his car while on I-95.
He opened fire from his car. This wasn't this wasn't a blood feud, man. This teacher, this little fucking preschool teacher, she wasn't in a blood feud with this guy.
Maybe they were outside. You don't know.
Nah.
They were in tour. They were in different gangs.
If I did it was a person, you're looking at it.
Yeah, man. So now tell me this though, man. What's the difference between this and Tory? Like think about it, man. Like, what is the difference?
For real, no difference.
Shame. It was bad, and he shot this broad. The only difference is this chick's dead, and Megan survived.
He did not deserve this.
Detectives say 21-year-old Jacoby Williams is the man who opened fire from his car while on I-95, striking and ultimately killing a beloved teacher and injuring her boyfriend. It happened on the southbound lanes near the Sunrise exit back in late November, around 9 o'clock at night. Annie Estevez was just 23 years old, an educator at Nursery Montessori in Fort Lauderdale. Her cousin, Gabby Huerta, spoke to Local 10 News earlier this month.
Annie's the last person that this should have ever happened to.
Yep.
Our heart, like our family's heart, is broken. It's so broken right now.
Loved ones say Estevez and her boyfriend were driving home from a Thanksgiving trip out of state when they were shot at. Police say Williams fired a gun from a newer model BMW i8. Bullets also hit a second car where a child was also shot but survived.
He hit a child
doing so many things.
He hit a child. He not only killed her and shot her boyfriend, but he hit a child in another car.
Hey, that's pretty good for a son, man. Like if you talk about the shooting ratio.
You got
to driving I-8 though.
Yeah, it's nothing. Poverty, man. He did this because of poverty, man. The school prison pipeline, man, led him to a life of poverty, and he had to fucking shoot these people because that's what poor people do.
Bullets also hit a second car where a child was also shot but survived.
Court finds probable cause, no bond.
Williams is now charged with first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder.
It's good to know that he's not going to be the cause of other families suffering the way that we're suffering. But at the same time, the unfortunate truth is that no matter what happens, nothing is going to bring.
Now, if these hombretos fucking hate niggas after this shit, people gonna act like they don't know the fuck why.
He needs to fry.
Yep. Don't blame them for hating his ass.
I don't blame them for seeing. Think about the way it happened. They're probably on the road. They probably cut him off. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. They probably cut him off, or something like that, or maybe like we're driving too slow.
Come on, Aki, using sensible arguments. He just wanted to test out his new gun.
Maybe you cut him off like in a non-aggressive manner at that.
Nah, man, you cut a son man off, you might as well call him the N-word.
Yeah, it's rough out there. Yes, cutting these things go down fast. It's not like back and forth. It's like you cut them off and the bullets are flying. Like some men are fucking out of control.
No matter what happens, nothing is going to bring our beloved Ani back.
Detectives have yet to elaborate on the motive, but loved ones tell us that the victim's vehicle was sideswiped by the suspect's BMW moments before he's accused of recklessly opening.
So he sideswiped them.
Which they probably honked the horn.
Yeah, they probably make grimace. They probably like, hey, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, fuck you, man, what? Boom, boom, boom. That's all it takes, man.
Hey, Ak, I'm always confused, Ak, on wait. So the cops took him into custody. He's alive right now, right? How does that happen?
No, they killed him and then they brought him back to life. Because every time a Sunman encounters a cop, he dies. So they
Like
brought him
this
back to life, like Frankenstein. They put him on the table.
He's definitely a monster. This is a perfect scenario for the agents of white supremacy to gun this motherfucker down, but they didn't.
Yeah, they missed the opportunity, man. This is bad, man. This is bad. You shoot a fucking beloved preschool teacher because you sideswiped them, and I give him the benefit of the doubt that, of course they're gonna say that he sideswiped them. Let's just say they sideswiped him, which a 21-year-old son, man, in this car right here, I'm going to err on the side that he was the one that did the sideswiping.
But say they did it though. That's what does that mean? So what? It's an accident. Handle it accordingly. You don't have to shoot the lady and a kid in another car. Fuck you.
Yeah, man. This is just bad. This is not good. And it
no
happens
solution, Chief.
Every day.
Hey, I sent you an email with a chart on it. I want you to bring up later.
The chart, okay.
Story, Christian. Thank you. All right, we want to take you live now to News Nation correspondent Nancy Liu. She earlier was live in Moscow, Idaho, first in front of the home, later at that press conference held by investigators, now live outside of the suspect's home in Pullman, Washington. So, Nancy, you just spoke with somebody who right outside of that home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the campus apartment of Brian Kohberger. It is university housing at Washington State. That is the unit number 201G. It is on the left side here. You can see the curtains are pulled, and a Idaho State trooper is posted right outside the door. But they are executing a warrant here. This is a big part of the investigation now. I heard that they arrived here around 7 o'clock this morning. Nothing has been removed from the apartment yet, but I did speak to the neighbor who lives right across the hall. He tells me that Brian Kohberger moved in, he thinks in August, right before the last semester. They've had about maybe 2 or 3 not run-ins, but they've run into each other a few times. And he said that Brian Kohberger was very friendly every time, very talkative, and almost just a friendly neighbor. So this apartment across the hall, that neighbor says he's never had any issue with Brian Kohberger, but now he lives across a crime scene. They're executing a warrant here. This is where Brian Kohberger lives here at Washington State. We also learned from Moscow police that another search warrant is being executed at Kohberger's office, which, since he's a graduate student, we believe that would be an office on the campus of Washington State University. We've also learned that the halting of the cleaning process at the house, that was ordered by a local court in Latah County. And that is likely because of preserving that scene. And I spoke with a Moscow resident who points out that, unlike other cities, LA, New York, where you have a giant pool of potential jurors in the future, Moscow's really small. It's a town of 25,000 people. So they do have to hold things tighter, keep things closer to the vest, release very little information because it's a very small jury pool that they may have to work with. So that's a very good point made to me by a Moscow resident.
And Nancy, You mentioned the fact that they are executing those search warrants. I don't know if our producer, Scott, if we can try to get that sound that we have from the PIO, the Public Information Officer of Moscow Police. Nancy had a chance to speak with him right after that press conference. If we can work on getting that sound, I'd like our viewers to be able to hear that. But in the interim, Nancy, just talk to us a little bit more about what was revealed in that press conference.
Well, we learned with that interview with the PIO that there are at least 4 search warrants, one at the Pennsylvania home, one here, one at the Washington State office, we believe, and also the car, the white Elantra, which we believe is in Pennsylvania. Police would not confirm the location of that car, but it is being processed now.
All right, Nancy.
I tried to get them to clarify.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. We do have the sound. We're going to go ahead and play that. So let's listen into that.
We're still investigating this. We're still trying to paint that picture and find out more of the answers to the questions that we all have. And so now that we know who this suspect is, that's why we would like the public's help in any information that they have involving this individual can help us potentially answer some of those questions as we continue this investigation.
Can you elaborate on the search for a murder weapon?
Certainly, what I can tell you on the search, okay, we have issued and executed search warrants in the residence that he was located at in Pennsylvania. We have located and are searching a 2015 white Hyundai Elantra. We had search warrants executed at his residence and place of work in Washington State, and those are still active and a part of the investigation.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your...
That dude, this white guy right here, is he might be a serial killer, man. What do y'all think so far? We just scratching the surface.
I don't know. I don't know why you would say that.
Yeah, but I don't know enough about him.
Yeah, like he's just connected at this point to those 4. I mean, is there like a crime pattern elsewhere?
Usually it's more victims.
Now to our other top story tonight.
He was working on his master's in criminal justice.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he was testing out what he learned. I think
to
he
our
is
other
a
top
true
story
psychopath.
tonight.
Exactly. We're going to get into that in a minute.
Now to our other top story tonight. The suspect wanted for murdering 4 college students in Idaho is in police custody here in Pennsylvania.
Authorities arrested 28-year-old Brian Koberger in Chestnut Hill Township, Monroe County. That's about 90 miles north of Philadelphia. Police say Koberger is a graduate student at Washington State University, and tonight we are learning new details about the suspect and what eventually led authorities to a home in the Poconos. Alicia Roberts joins us now with that new information. Alicia?
Yuki, Jessica, a source close to the case tells me Philadelphia-based FBI agents and local investigators have been tracking Koberger for the past 4 days in Monroe County, where that white Hyundai Elantra is registered, and that DNA from the crime scene in Idaho is a positive match to their suspect.
Wow, they got DNA. So how many of y'all heard about a white car that was caught on camera in Idaho?
I did.
Yeah, I hear one of you heard about that. I had heard about that.
Nearly 7 weeks after 4 University of Idaho students were found stabbed to death in their own beds, officials arrested 28-year-old Brian Koberger early Friday morning inside a home belonging to his parents in Monroe County, Pennsylvania.
These murders have shaken our community, and no arrest will ever bring back these young students.
Make sure you hit the PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat, support the channel. $5 challenge, guys. It's Friday. We're going to try to bring this story to you in all of its layers, man.
Police say Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Zaina Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were stabbed multiple times back on November 13 inside an off-campus house. Autopsies showed the victims were likely sleeping when they were attacked. Several had defensive wounds trying to fight back.
This has been a very difficult time for the families, the university, the community, and the state of Idaho.
Koberger was a graduate student at Washington State University, about a 10-minute drive from the murder scene. Police in Idaho say they've received thousands of tips and that a white Hyundai Elantra...
How is Washington 10 minutes from the murder scene?
right across the border.
Right across the border.
Washington State is 10 minutes from the University of Idaho.
Washington State University is that close to the Idaho, University of Idaho.
Yeah, Eastern Washington, right up against Western Idaho, right there.
10 minutes?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like crossing the border for Kyle Rittenhouse, but shorter.
And so where's the University of Idaho? In Moscow, right?
Yeah, pull up the map.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
they said it's like 8 or 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
16 minutes. What the fuck?
This would have made the best Criminal Minds episode ever.
Yeah, I think it will still will though.
This will be in the 2024 season.
It'll be on a podcast
for that.
It'll be on a fucking podcast
for this one,
Yeah, like my God, I didn't know the University of Washington was that close to the University of Idaho. That's insane. It's 16 minutes apart.
They said it's easier to get alcohol and party in Idaho too. So that a lot of the guys from Washington State were coming over there.
That literally blows my mind. They're closer than fucking like Georgetown and University of Maryland. They're closer than Howard and Georgetown. It takes longer to get from fucking Georgetown to Howard than this fucking shot drive right here. It takes longer to get from this is insane. I had no idea. It takes longer to get from all the Big Five schools in Philadelphia. It takes longer to get from Pennsylvania, UPenn to fucking St. Joe's or fucking Villanova than this. I had no idea that it was this close. Idaho was this close to fucking Washington. That is fucking insane.
Wouldn't that be lit though as a college student?
Hell yeah. Wow. I had no fucking clue. 16 minutes.
So this guy was like a PhD candidate, and he was striking out with his own students. Probably really made him mad.
Oh, he was trying to score.
I think so. I mean, I think
you're speculating.
I'm speculating. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm speculating because it's like, I mean, first of all, look at the guy. He kind of looks like Norman Bates, right?
I don't know. He looks normal. I mean, he looks like a fucking dude.
No, he looks like Norman Bates. Pull up a picture of Norman Bates from Psycho and this guy, separated at birth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think he was just practicing. I think he was trying to prove he was smarter than the system.
Well, I mean, yeah, but what drove him to be smarter than the system? It's not being able to score with those girls.
I hope he talks, Chief, because I'm curious to why he did it.
Yeah, he ain't gonna talk. He's going straight. They have capital punishment in Idaho. They're warming that needle up right now.
Yeah, let me move along.
University, about a 10-minute drive from the murder scene. Police in Idaho say they've received thousands of tips and that a white Hyundai Elantra seen in the area where the students were killed helped lead them to their suspect. A source also tells CBS 3 Koberger has been in Pennsylvania for the past several weeks. A former running partner who lives in the Poconos was stunned by the news.
I looked at the picture and I couldn't believe who it was. It was Brian Koberger. I would text him like, hey, you want to go for a run? We go for 6-7 mile runs at night. So
Can you imagine how lucky this guy is? He's going for 6 and 7 mile runs at night with this fucking psychopath. Go into that Exxon to buy a lotto ticket, man, right now, man.
Shit, you win the Powerball tonight.
Crazy, man. Are you fucking serious? You're a lucky bastard, man. Salute to Deluxe 247, aka Cal Ripken, the real MVP, coming through once again, man. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, man. Salute to my man, Nate Ways again, coming through with the cash app, man.
So like when I saw who it was, I was just in like complete shock. I was like, it was so close to home.
Koberger is a graduate of DeSales University in Lehigh County. In a statement, the university confirmed, quote, Koberger received a bachelor's degree in 2020 and completed his graduate studies in June 2022. As a Catholic Salesian community, we are devastated by this senseless tragedy. Residents who live near the suspect's Monroe County home.
What'd you say?
He's repressed. That's what it is, man. See that? He's going to that Catholic university, real repressed. And when you see, I know gliders tend to look alike, but when you look at the guy who was just talking about him in front of the Exxon, he looks normal. And then you go back to Kohlberger, he looks crazy.
Yeah, but looking crazy, a lot of gliders look crazy. I mean, like, I'm in a town full of gliders that look fucking crazy, man. That doesn't mean
that glider had his nose rearranged several times in his lifetime.
But that could have been sports. White boys always break their nails playing basketball and shit like that.
Residents who live near the suspect's Monroe County home are now also left to process how close this tragedy played out.
And this is like a really family-oriented community. We're really tight-knit in here, and just to hear that there was some kind of like a monster like that living here, I'm totally relieved that they got him.
And right now, Koberger is facing 4 counts of felony first-degree murder. He remains behind bars inside the Monroe County Correctional Facility. He'll have his first hearing before a judge on Tuesday afternoon. And from there, the process to extradite him back to Idaho will begin. Jess?
All right, Alicia, thank you. And during today's news conference, authorities described how complex this investigation has been, and they say it is far from over. Police say they have fielded 19,000 tips related to the murders. They also reviewed more than 113 pieces of physical evidence from the home, approximately 4,000 photographs, and conducted more than 300 interviews. As this investigation evolves, please stay with CBS 3. You can get the latest updates anytime streaming on CBS News Philadelphia and on our website, cbsphiladelphia.com.
Breaking
Those
news
cops
from the
sound
murders
busy.
of 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho on November 13th, stabbed to death in their beds in a crime that has horrified and mystified the nation. Law enforcement sources tell ABC News a 28-year-old man, Brian Koberger, is now under arrest in connection with the killings. We're told authorities arrested Koberger thousands of miles from Idaho in Monroe County, Pennsylvania, and that a SWAT team entered the location where he was staying and took him into custody this morning. This comes more than 6 weeks after investigators say University of Idaho roommates Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Zaina Coronado, as well as Coronado's boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, were all stabbed to death in the girl's off-campus house. With me now for more is ABC's Kana Whitworth, live in Moscow, Idaho, and former chief for the San Bernardino Police Department and ABC News contributor Jared Bergwan. So, Kana, we're now learning there was this arrest warrant, obviously for murder in the first degree. So this is the guy they think did it. He appeared before a judge today, ordered his extradition. What can you tell us?
So, Terry, what we know so far is that this arrest resulted from this criminal homicide investigation that was happening here in Moscow, Idaho. Now, Moscow PD remains the lead on this, and they, at this point, are not confirming this arrest. But our sources within the FBI are saying that Brian Koberger, again, 28 years old, he was highly educated, Terry. In fact, he had a master's degree in criminology from DeSales University there in Pennsylvania, but also attended Washington State University in Pullman, Washington, which is just less than 10 miles away here from Moscow, Idaho. So he will be extradited back here to Idaho to face charges for the most heinous crime that this city has ever seen. We're also told that the SWAT team knew what they were looking for and that he was arrested inside a house there in rural Pennsylvania.
All right, a long way, as you point out, Kana, from Moscow, Idaho. Jared, we now have the suspect. We've got the arrest warrant. What do you make of this? What happens next?
Well, the judge has already ordered him to be extradited, so he's going to be on his way back to Idaho before long, and we will start to see the court proceedings begin from there, from a preliminary hearing to presumably a trial. I will point out it's interesting that he's got this history in criminal justice with no prior criminal history that I'm sorry, not a criminal history in criminal justice, but a history studying criminal justice with no prior criminal history. It's going to be a fascinating aspect to this case.
Yeah, it seems like he has a person who has been interested in this field, and now, right in the middle of the biggest murder case in the country right now. Canna, what's the latest on the crime scene and how this arrest factors into the investigation on the ground there?
Yeah, well, first, Terry, I'll tell you, one of my law enforcement sources told me, they weren't surprised that this suspect was highly educated. They, in fact, anticipated something like that. In addition to
what do y'all think about that? That they weren't surprised that the suspect was highly educated because he got away with it.
Well, Ted Bundy was a lawyer, wasn't he?
No, but this guy, like, what makes them think that he was highly educated? The fact that he left no evidence or some shit like that.
Well, no,
he left 113 pieces of evidence.
I actually heard that CNN reported that they have his DNA, that they matched his DNA. That's how they got the warrants.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that he did stump them. They were stumped for a minute.
I heard that they really weren't. That they basically knew that car, they were looking for that car from day one. So they might have had a plate number. They probably already knew who they were looking for. They just needed to build the case. But
that DNA takes time to process, and people don't understand it's not CSI TV
not for
show.
a case like this, man.
Yeah,
it still takes time to process, though, because, like I said, how many pieces of DNA were in that apartment that had to be disqualified?
Well, the other thing is that he worked as a security guard at one point, and which means his fingerprints
were on file probably,
yeah.
And
I don't think school teaches you how to defeat the system, Mike. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
He's not a school teacher.
In addition to the crime scene, right? This off-campus home.
People are arguing that him studying criminology was helping him understand how to maneuver around it. I don't know. I don't think that's how it works.
He had a Reddit post. There was a Reddit post that they found on him where he was asking criminals to answer a bunch of questions about how
that's not uncommon to do research though for grad students. That's
not
uncommon.
When you put it.
Yeah, but it is uncommon to put it into practice.
Yeah, this.
Well, I mean, but that's what I'm saying is studying criminology. I don't see how anyone connects that to.
I put the coursework required for the 4-year degree in the back check. Take a look at it.
Okay, all right. Let me. James Iveen says, "I wonder what this psychopath ordered when the SWAT team took him to Burger King." Yeah, man. They probably. Yeah, man. We don't know what he got, man. We're gonna find out later, man. I'm sure some pro-blacks are gonna tell us about this, man.
I don't know. I have the feeling they really took him down. That's what I think, because they were looking for him real hard. I think they really took him down.
Oh, so you're saying they just took him to Bob's? They took him to Shake Shack. They ain't taking him to Burger King.
Well, yeah, Shake Shack.
They took him to 7-Eleven and told him to get one of them hamburgers and warm it up in the 7-Eleven microwave.
The gas station. They took him to the gas station.
This guy is actually an extreme vegan. His aunt, removed from a divorce, said that when he came to stay with them, they had to buy all new cookware because he would not even eat food out of frying pans and shit that had ever touched meat.
He could get an Impossible Burger though, man, from Burger King. Man, they got vegan stuff at Burger King.
Yeah, but he wouldn't eat a burger. He wouldn't eat a vegan thing at Burger King because the same machinery is used to cook meat.
Okay, let's move.
This guy was a fucking weirdo, man.
It's a popular house. It's a 6-bedroom house. It remains a crime scene, and in fact, biohazard teams were supposed to start their initial cleanup there today. They actually went to the house and then were told to leave. The property management company, who's been working closely with law enforcement to schedule this, told us that they were alerted that there's been a major break in this case, and so the cleanup of that crime scene will be postponed. It'll just have to wait for now, Terry.
And thank you, Canna. Jared, there is new body cam video. Shows apparently one of the victims in this case talking to police weeks before the murders. And Do you know what this might suggest about the direction of this investigation? You know what?
Oh wow! So the police had been there a few weeks before the murder.
Yeah,
Wow.
he was stalking her because I think he had been to a party there or something, because it was a big party house. So he's probably stalking the girl.
Are you sure about this, or is this your?
No, I believe he was at a party there. I believe he was.
Wow.
What police knew? She seems to. We don't know the circumstance of this as far as I know. It's from Truth and Transparency. What do you make of something like this?
Well, I'm sure the fact that the house was popular, these were popular college kids, it's a large house, it sounds like a place where a lot of people gathered and a lot of people were in and out of, that really complicated the investigation because it added to the number of people that needed to be interviewed. It added to the number of potential suspects. It added to the number of potential motives that authorities had to look at. I'm not familiar with what the content of that body cam video was or why an officer was there in the first place, but undoubtedly there were probably just stacks and stacks of evidence that the authorities had to go through to ultimately settle on a suspect in this case.
Right. And Kana, that nugget that authorities you spoke to, we're not surprised that this suspect, the person that they now believe committed this crime, was highly educated. We're going to hear from authorities at a news conference at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. ABC News Live. ABC News is going to carry that live when it happens. So tell us what else you think we might learn there. What are you expecting to hear? What kind of questions might you have?
Right. So as it goes with this case, Terry, every time we learn something, it really only creates more questions, right? So now the questions we have are, what's the deal with this white Elantra that authorities were looking for? Was Brian Kohberger driving that white Elantra? There were also other people believed to be inside that car. Where are they? What's going on with them? Also, police said from the get-go, this was an isolated and targeted attack. I hope that we can learn why they thought that at the beginning and continue to believe that throughout the investigation. Again, authorities have been tight-lipped this entire time. They said they were responding to thousands of tips across this entire country, which you are seeing today as an arrest made thousands of miles away. So clearly everybody has been highly involved in this. They're not leaving one stone unturned. And so I hope that they give all of that information. One thing I also want to add, Terry, is when you see all this body cam footage from these responding officers in this community from months past, I thought what it really goes to show is how involved these officers are in this community. And we were told time and time again that these officers know these kids, and you see that play out right in that body cam video. In fact, what you were just talking about, officers were responding to a noise complaint. It was the second time they'd been at this King Street party house that night, and you see them talking with Xana. You see that these officers know these kids. They knew who they were, and so this crime therefore rocked not only the community but the department as well.
Yeah, because that is a small community with those officers there on the scene. Thank you for that, Ken. And I want to ask Jared about this. This has been 6 weeks now since the killings. Have you been involved in cases, that really hit the community hard and it looked like it was going to go nowhere? What have the investigators been going through to reach this point today?
Well, the reality is that in busy police departments, after 6 weeks, it almost becomes a cold case, because in a busy department, you've got, a homicide happens on Monday, and by the end of the week, you may have another, and you have cases that start to stack up that these types of cases get pushed back. The fact that Moscow, Idaho is a safe community, it's a slower community from a policing standpoint.
Guys, it's easier to solve crime in safer communities because the cops aren't inundated with murder after murder after murder.
And they're also not getting defunded, too.
Right.
And there's not a no snitch policy.
Oh,
I mean,
like you said, they had 19,000 tips.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's gliders. They're always going to snitch. I heard that Yelp was developed so that people could snitch on businesses, man.
Yeah. Gliders neighborhoods because some people are going to say, well, I promise you this, and I promise you this. Well, if they was black, they would have never, you know what I'm saying? Like, they wouldn't have spent all these resources, man. The black people get killed every day, and they don't do all this stuff. Listen to what he says, though. It's easier to solve these crimes, communities that are safe.
Get pushed back. The fact that Moscow, Idaho is a safe community, it's a slower community from a policing standpoint, and they have so much attention and so many resources dedicated to this, speaks to the fact that they were able to just continue to put so many resources on this. We've all been a part of things in our community that have not been resolved, and we know that that can be very, very frustrating. Hopefully, the fact that there's an arrest in this case will lead to a conviction in this case, and we will learn the truth of what really happened to help put the folks in that community at ease.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kana, that is something this community has been going through, something unimaginable, because this man, if in fact this is the person who did this, was on the loose, that for weeks the police have been, searching and asking for help from the community. And, social media is, there's critics a dime a dozen, cheaper than that on social media. Has there been concern, criticism from the community about the way this has been handled? And obviously people are breathing a sigh of relief today. How do you think people are reacting after all of the questions raised about the police and their investigation in this case?
Right. Well, I will say, Terry, within the community, this department has a tremendous amount of support. In fact,
again, the community's not bitching and fussing and whining about the cops and on their ass, making their job hell, fucking with them all the time, whining 1 second, saying that they're being over police 1 second, saying that they take too long to show up when they call another second, saying that they profile them 1 second, and the next second saying that you got all these crazy fucking guys around and y'all never like fucking stopping them from fucking with us. They're just support, and that's how it is in my town. My town, you see, you used to. Now listen, this has changed a lot since in the last few years since it's gotten sunnier. I think the gliders are scared to do this, but when I first started coming to this town, it was I support the local PD. I support the PD. Signs in, let's just say, if you go down a block, at least one on every block. Some blocks had 2 or 3, but at least one on every block had a sign in the front yard saying I support the local PD. And that's just this relationship gliders have with these with their police officers. It's just different, man. Whole different world. Salute the boy Kachina. He says, "Hey, you think he had the same expression on his face the whole time?" Yeah, I do. That guy's a psychopath, man.
As we've been here now for weeks, we've been seeing people just walking to the store behind me and dropping off coffee and food and telling the department, "We support you. Thank you. We believe that you will bring justice." There was concern from families, right? When your child is murdered in a heinous way and you have no answers, there was concerns from families that perhaps the department wasn't moving fast enough, that perhaps they weren't providing enough answers. That was certainly out there. But a majority of this community really supported this department, and I think that they're feeling that and they're seeing that today. I also will say, Terry, that we spoke with Keely Gonzalez's father, Steve, after this news broke today, and he's telling us, as we know, this is a targeted, isolated attack, but he's telling us right now this family has no idea who this man is, who this suspect is. So they're looking into him right now, but they also added that they are happy, relieved, thankful today.
Amen to that. That's great reporting, Kana, as always. And Jared, thank you very much for bringing your expertise and insight into this major story. I know we'll be talking again.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
Wow, man.
I don't know why they keep going with. Why do they keep saying this is a targeted and isolated attack? Like anytime they oversell anything, it make me raise an eyebrow. I don't know.
I mean, they're probably saying that because the people there, the kids, weren't coming back to school and shit. They were scared.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I think they've known a lot more than people thought from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that I mean, that
And
guy.
they held their cards close to their chest on this one.
You know
like
what?
they
You know what
should.
happened? That guy invited the girl out on a date to watch like some autopsy films.
She was like, "No thanks."
Yeah,
He's like, "No thanks."
And he didn't understand why she didn't want to go and check him out, And she blew him off, and ever since then he was planning this out,
Right there's the first girl with her phone out, and she's using it as a light. Okay. Right there by the car. So she's on actually the other side of the car because she was just walking out. Now watch what that girl does. See, you can see her flashlight right by that car now. All right. So it's like two things I'm pointing out here is that's how dark it is. It's really dark. All right. They're using their phones, the flashlights on their phones. And then the one girl puts the brakes on. Okay. And she goes back up behind the car and puts the book bag down.
How goes it?
Right there. She's right there. How goes it? You can see still her light there. Now watch this.
Who lives here?
And she bolts the other way. Okay, to get rid of. She's gonna put the book bag down. Now, mind you, this is just one of the cop views, and then you have two others, and then you have one person that's dressed in shorts and a t-shirt. Okay.
We're not actually sure.
You don't know who lives here?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
We're just here for a noise complaint.
Okay.
Okay, so but check this out. You just see those two people, right?
Okay. No.
They bolted the other way. Like when you're watching this in fast motion, okay.
The other ones were because they ran like crazy.
Okay. So when he said that at first, though, when I was watching this the first time, when he said they ran like crazy, right? You have to really pay attention. But obviously they have a way better view because they have flashlights. They're right there. When you're watching this like this, yes, I saw 4 walk out. Okay. And they split the way that they were going. 2 came down the right side of the car. 2 were about to come down the left side of the car.
Okay, this is just giving you a glimpse of the crime scene. This is the earlier noise complaint from September 1st, when the police had to come. Salute to Nate Ways, man. I was ready to give more at 10 p.m. Sun time happened. Yeah, sun time, man. It's like sun time is like Dame time, man. Sun time is all the time, man. All the time. I'm a sun man. Platinum Pig says, glad they finally got him. Hope he rots in a broom closet. Yeah, man. Definitely, man. Can't say it better than that. But this is where he did this shit. All these kids, this place is teeming with kids. As you can see, he killed 4 people in the house. How many people lived in the house, Mel? One of you guys remember?
I think it was 6. He killed 4.
6. Two of them were on another floor.
Yeah, just like this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like
and they were suspects.
Yeah.
Car. And then she put the brakes on, went back, put the beer. Well, it was White Claw and Truly's or whatever, and then went the other way. She booked it too. She went around the house and went.
Hey, Og.
Flash.
Og, what's the point of this? Is she trying to prove that underage college students drinking don't want to get caught with White Claw?
This is back before they cut the guy when everybody was trying to like come up with their theory. She's probably blaming it on somebody in the crowd here.
Flashlight. The first girl has it on her phone. Now, right there, the second flashlight, because the other two people, because there was 4 that came out, they just decided to split the car, and 2 went the one way along the car, and then the other 2 went, along the passenger side of the car. Okay.
How goes it?
Boom, right there, brakes put on. Because you see right here. Look at, do you see the feet? Right here, you could see the one girl right here on the left. She has her phone out. Then you have the girl that's got she's dead right almost in the center of your, and then you can see little feet. The little white shoes, her little legs right there. Okay, you could see it in the light of where the cop is. Now check this out.
These some hot little mamas, man. I ain't gonna lie though, man. I see why homeboy was trying to be around here, man. There's some little hot little mamas down here.
Idaho potato.
Oh yeah. No, that's they're no joke, man. Absolutely not.
I bet
This guy might have been the Instagram stalker the one girl had.
We got a lot of baddies running around there.
Yeah, I mean, like
one of the girls fought back, so she might have had DNA underneath her fingernails too.
And how she's about to answer it, and then okay, she's right. Here we go. Ready?
Oh, hi, how are you?
Who lives here?
We're not actually sure.
You don't know who lives here?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
We're just here for a noise complaint.
Oh, okay. No.
If that was a black pop, motherfucker, bitch ass, fuck you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what would that be like in the suntan, man?
Oh, those cops would have had a fucking completely different experience.
The other ones were because they ran like crazy. Beat on the damn door. Oh, look at that! Abandoned property.
Hey, who's the owner or
who lives here?
Nash.
Man.
And there you go. There's a door being opened, and
I can go get them real quick.
Okay, please.
I can go get them. She doesn't say I can go get it. She's
This
just
place is teeming with little hotties, man. That little place is teeming with little hot tamales, man.
Girls gone wild.
No, sororities aren't known for letting the uggos
Now,
join.
obviously, as the story
Yeah, exactly.
develops, there's still a lot more to learn about Koberger, but take a look at this. It's a survey Koberger posted online as part of an undergraduate research project. Now, part of the introduction reads, quote, I'm inviting you to participate in a research project that seeks to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. The survey was aimed at criminals. Now, listen to some of these questions he was asking. Quote, why did you choose the victim or target over others? Did you prepare for the crime before leaving your home? What was the first move you made in order to accomplish your goal? After arriving, what steps did you take prior to locating the victim or target? How did you leave the scene? Sounds a little odd to me. But let's go to FBI retired.
Actually, not
criminal
odd for
profiler
criminology masters.
Yeah.
If you look at that course load, all that shit's involved in there. The psychology of criminology.
Yeah. It's
pretty standard
it's
stuff.
Odd. It's odd for like a layman, but I'm glad that they're this in depth. Because if you're gonna be like an FBI profiler or something like that, you need to fucking know these types of things. You need to be well versed in criminal behavior.
So maybe that's what he felt. In order to get his PhD, he was going to have to actually partake in a crime like this so that he could like do his thesis.
Well, yeah, or maybe he just wanted to do it because he knew so. Like maybe he thought he was so smart and that he could, actually do it, and then just be like, standing in front of the class and like, yeah, I'm a real killer.
Oh, some perfect crime shit.
Yeah, I think this guy thought he was probably smarter than every professor he ever studied under.
Yeah, and he probably is. He's probably a very smart guy. I mean, DNA, listen, 30 years ago, he would definitely got off with this shit. There was no camera. There was no white car, in the on the camera. There would have been no DNA. He'd have got away with this scot free 30 years ago. He just, it's really hard to outsmart all the things they have now.
Go to FBI retired criminal profiler and author of Journey to the Center of the Mind, James Fitzgerald.
Unless you're a son, man, and you just shoot somebody that you met 0.7 seconds ago with some stupid shit, and there's no motive.
For his expert,
and you're in Chicago, where there
James,
are no
listen, I read these questions that Kohlberger had in his undergraduate research project. What do you make of that in light of his arrest today?
Sean, as soon as I heard those questions or read them earlier, it reminded me of the protocol of like 400 questions that we had back in the day as new profilers when we would go through our intensive training in Quantico, Virginia. Within a year or so, we'd go out to the prisons and interview serial offenders and violent offenders. They're convicted, they're not going anywhere, there's no deals offered. And we would ask them about 400 questions about how they committed crimes, why they committed crimes, why they chose certain victims, why they didn't choose other victims. And you know what? The questions I've seen so far in our subjects, the questions that he had prepared for his master's thesis, very similar to those. So this guy obviously is intelligent. This guy has obviously done his research, and he wanted to get inside the mind of these people. But at the same time, perhaps he wasn't getting all the answers from them himself. So he had to do it himself, commit this type of a crime to truly answer those questions. And
yeah. Whew. This is definitely, this is going to be a movie, a mini series, everything.
And what a heinous way to go about doing your research.
What's up, Marcy?
Hey, when I was in college, I met a lot of students who were like psych majors, and when I got to know them, basically it became I simply asked them, "Are you studying this so you can know more about yourself, or maybe fix your own problems?" And yeah, every one of them said, yeah, that was their motivation behind taking up psychology. So it could have been his motivation behind taking up something in criminology, because he had this urge. He wanted to know more about himself, and probably figured out maybe he can get away with committing the perfect crime.
Jake Gyllenhaal is going to play him, man. Right?
No, the guy who played Dennis he looks like the guy who plays Dennis on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, what I wonder is
what
I wonder, Ike, is why did they smack him? Because what did he say? Or what was he doing that they decided to smack him? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you see that green thing he's wearing?
Yeah.
That's for inmates who are suicidal. So, but they don't just throw that on you for no reason. Like you have to say, I want to kill myself, or you have to be, trying to hurt yourself.
I'm pretty sure that he wants to hurt himself. I mean, he's fucked. I mean, he's fucked 7 ways to Sunday, man.
Maybe he disagrees with you though.
He picked the wrong state to do that in, man. He picked the wrong state.
Yeah, he's fucked. Okay, like he's fucked. Like they said in the hood, he's fucked with a sick dick. He is fucked.
In this regard.
But it begs the question, was he doing this for his thesis or research project, or was he actually doing, opera research to make sure he could better commit his crime when he chose to do it?
Sure, and many criminals, Kaczynski, the DC sniper, the anthrax guy, they all claim to have these over-the-top sort of rationales and reasons for doing it once they're caught. But quite frankly, they have violent ideations, many of them mental health issues, and they want to sort of form an excuse for why they go out and commit crimes, be it a one-off like this guy killing 4 people at once, or being a serial offender that goes on for weeks or months or decades in the case of some of them. So this guy wanted to kill someone, I am sure about that. And once he got more in the world of this whole criminal justice studies and how these prisoners think and operate, he somehow thought he could be one of them. But you know what? He thought he would be smarter. And you know what, Sean? It reminds me from 99 years ago, before my time, but I'm certainly familiar with the history of the Leopold and Loeb case in Chicago. They were a couple of college students, thought they were smarter than law enforcement, and they went and kidnapped and killed a 14-year-old boy. There was a movie called Rope made in 1948, a Hitchcock movie, which captures that. The methodology is different, of course, but I think part of what this guy is someone who thinks he's smarter than the rest of us, certainly law enforcement, and that may be at least one of the factors which contributed to him committing this crime.
You know, James, over the last 7 weeks, we've had a lot of people on TV, all networks, you know, criminal profilers, psychological profilers of what this killer would look like. We don't know a whole lot about Kohberger, but from what you've seen, would he match the profile of someone who would commit a crime like this?
Well, Sean, I was here 5 weeks ago tonight, this exact show, just about this exact time, and I laid out 3 potential scenarios of this person. And it was someone known by the victims, directly, indirectly. Maybe he knew them more than they knew him. It could be someone involved in incel, involuntary celibacy, or some kind of a sexual sadist. A few of those can actually be, they're not mutually exclusive. They can be, people can operate under 2 or even 3 of those conditions when committing these crimes. Throw in this fascination with real world crime and the prisoners and the inmates and this questionnaire he put out. This fascination level was so high for him, just doing the research on his own wasn't enough. He had to go and involve himself directly in these crimes. He didn't choose shoplifting, unfortunately. He chose mass murder of 5 innocent people while they slept.
Yeah, so sad. James Fitzpatrick, thanks for joining us.
Salute to Michael. Michael says, check out Austin Haroof, arrest picks. Yeah, I looked at Austin Haroof arrest pick. He does favor our guy somewhat, not much, but yeah, he just favors them a little bit. Salute to Monique, man. Monique says, I think they are secretly relieved it was not a sudden man in Idaho. If it were, do you think they would still support the police as much? I think if it was a sudden man in Idaho, man, I think that if this turned out to be a sudden man, this story would get buried. You wouldn't hear anything else about this story. But now that it's a glider, we can it's gonna be like the biggest story. It can be like something that we all follow together. So I'm happy that it's a glider, so we can learn more about this. Because if it was a son man, it would just be buried. Especially if it was a son man who was working on his master's degree. This story would be buried under the goddamn a mountain. So salute to being a glider, man. Salute to Dilbert Gig, man. He says, hi, Op. Meant to recommend that family they got Christmas for. Also give one more present. A vasectomy for the poor guy. Have a great New Year. He's talking about another story. Yeah, man. Salute to all you guys, man, supporting the channel, man. Appreciate all you guys, man. Who's this? Yeah, man. Appreciate all you guys, man. Yeah, it's salute to everybody watching on Rumble too, man. Salute to everybody watching on Rumble. But yeah, this is an interesting story, man. Let's see a little bit. Let's see what CNN's take on it is, man.
Well, we know a little bit about the 28-year-old graduate student Brian Kohberger, arrested today on 4 counts of first-degree murder. And we are also learning more about how long he was in the sights of authorities. Sources tell me tonight they were tracking him when he was driving, and he drove from Idaho to his parents' home in Pennsylvania, arriving there in Pennsylvania around Christmas. But there is still much we do not know about his background, his relationship with the 4 people he is accused of murdering, if there even was a relationship, and the events that led to their deaths. CNN's Camila Bernal has more on what we know.
A call to the public. Authorities in need of any information regarding Brian Kohberger.
We still ask is for people to continually send us things in the tip line.
His DNA and white Hyundai.
Wait a second. Is that fucking Santa Claus right there? Santa brought us this fucking murderer for Christmas, man. Thank you, Santa.
He has
for
to have a
people
day
to
job.
continually send us
Yeah, Santa moonlights as a fucking police sergeant, man. That's some shit.
things in the tip line.
His DNA and white Hyundai Elantra linking him to the case, according to 2 law enforcement sources briefed on the investigation. But more evidence is needed for a successful prosecution.
We are still looking for more information. We're still trying to build that picture, just like we have stated all along. We're putting all the pieces together, and that will help.
Brian Koberger.
The 28-year-old graduated in May from DeSales University in Pennsylvania with a master's in criminal justice.
It's someone who has been delving into the innermost sanctums of criminal thinking, who is now accused of a particularly horrific crime.
In Reddit post, removed after the arrest was made public, a student investigator named Brian Koberger sought participation in a research project associated with the DeSales University study. It was to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. The post said the study sought to understand the story behind your most recent criminal offense with an emphasis on your thoughts and feelings throughout your experience. Most recently, he was a graduate student at Washington State University's Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology.
I'm not at all surprised, although really disheartened to find out that this suspect is a PhD student in criminology at Washington State University. From the outset, we had to understand that this was an organized killer.
He was studying and living in Pullman, Washington, just a few miles from the crime scene. Police searched his university residence Friday morning.
This is a smart guy who's obsessed with crime.
He was arrested early Friday morning, giving law enforcement a clear focus for their investigation.
This is not an ending, but rather a new beginning.
Camila Bernal joins us now. So Camila, Washington State University also released a statement tonight. What did they say?
Well, Pam, the chancellor of the university saying they are shaken, that the entire region is shaken by this crime, saying they will long feel the loss for these students, and added that she hopes this will be the beginning of a healing process. Now, in terms of the investigation, the university confirming that they helped, in terms of the university police, execute the search warrant. There were 2 of them, one to his apartment, the other to his office. They were both on campus, so the university saying that they will continue to assist law enforcement in any way possible. And then finally, Pam, confirming that just this month, the suspect finished his first semester. He was a PhD student in the criminal justice program. And again, he finished that semester just this month, Pam.
So he just got there and did this shit. I mean, wow. I mean,
Camila Bernal, thank you so much. So interesting. I'm joined now by Mary Ellen O'Toole, a retired FBI special agent and profiler who has worked on many high-profile investigations, including those involving Elizabeth Smart and Natalie Holloway. Mary Ellen, as we reported, the suspect in custody has a master's degree in criminal justice.
let me read some of these chats. Salute the new crime salute the new crime bill now, man. He says, keep up the good work. We need to start a GoFundMe for Wicked to buy a suit of purge armor. Yeah, man.
Like The Walking Dead.
Yeah, man. We gotta fucking look out, man. Salute to Diltberg Gag. He says, Fox News people comments called these Moscow cops stupid and inexperienced. So they suggested getting big city cops like Chicago, where they have a 12% solve rate.
Where they're overwhelmed like a motherfucker.
Yeah. I think these little cops did a decent
Got away
job.
with it.
Man. Yeah.
They don't have nothing else
Actually,
going
they're
on.
adding 1,000 now.
They have nothing going on. I mean, they have all the time in the world for this.
Exactly.
In Chicago, there's a stuntman getting shot like every fucking other hour, right?
Yeah, every 2 hours a Sun man gets shot in Chicago. Salute to Nate Ways. He says, for those that wish they could write but can't. But right now but can't. For those that wish they could right now but can't. Okay. Yeah, man. Salute to Nate Ways, man. Dropping it on the channel for you people that are less fortunate, man. Less fortunate Nation viewers, man. Make sure y'all hit that PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat, support the channel. We got Acadia says, serial killer Delmas Colvin interview on YouTube is a trip. Okay, we might have to look at that. Delmas Colvin. Yeah, we may have to look at that, man.
I think the biggest red flag
you
guy
just
was
heard
that he was a vegan.
Oh yeah, you know,
I don't trust
anytime
him.
you-
Yes, you know, Sam Bankman-Fried is also a vegan too. So we're starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah, if you meet a vegan, man, you're pretty much dead, man. You know how it is. You know how it works. Yeah. So Delmas Colvin, serial killer. Listen, man, this guy is not anywhere near the guy. What's his name? Chamir, the guy down in Texas, who recently got caught for killing 26 elderly people at an old folks' homes. So this killing that this guy did is not that bad, but you know.
Yeah, but killing old people is a lot easier than killing pretty much in shape, young people. He
Yeah,
took on
definitely.
he took on a
He took on the challenge, man. He wanted
took on a challenge, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, how did he get through 4 people? I don't know. That just seems
They were
hard body.
sleeping. They were sleeping.
Oh yeah. We're still shit.
Yeah, it's he's a psychopath, but he's a cold savage.
He will be asking the cops questions when they interview him.
Yeah, he's gonna be very, very. He's not gonna be like, oh my god, I fucked my life up. He's gonna be very, very like together, and he's gonna try to he probably thinks he can talk his way out of it. Guys like him that are really, really smart like that, he probably thinks there's some way he can still talk his way out of this.
He asked them if they had arrested anybody else when they got him.
You know who he reminds me of, Ike? You ever heard of Richard Speck?
Richard Speck. Let me.
Yeah, but Richard Speck was a total white trash
dude. But you remember what happened to him in prison, right, dude? That's gonna be this guy.
You talking about Jeffrey Dahmer?
Nah, Richard Speck. He was a
What happened to
dude.
Richard Speck in prison?
Long story short, he went into a house and killed 4 females.
Do you have Netflix?
No, I don't have Netflix.
Oh, so there's a series
Victims, did you have sex?
called Mindhunter, and it's about the beginning of the behavioral.
Mindhunter. That's my movie. That's on the beginning of Hannibal Lecter.
Well, no, but yeah, and these
It's a
guys.
very good show, dude.
Beginning, it's an entire series, and they go around and they interview guys. In one episode, they interview Richard Speck.
Oh.
Chief, long story short, he does what this guy did, right? Identical, more or less. But when he goes to prison, guess what the brothers do to him?
What they do?
He pretty much was wearing a lipstick in prison, put it like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but the problem with Richard Speck was he left one alive.
Well, she survived, you know. Well,
Rape your victims. Did you have sex with them before?
Let me play this.
Rape your victims. Did you have sex with them before death? Did you have sex with them when they were dead? Any of that?
No, some of the Toledo those I probably had sex with because a lot of them out of the 7, at least 6 of them has worked for me at one time or another.
But you never had sex with them after they were dead. You're not a necrophiliac.
Oh, no. Man, like if dead fucker holding me. I don't want to do that. That's no, that ain't my thing.
Did you kill children? Did you kill children?
Never. I would never harm a child. The last detective that asked me that, I tried to break his jaw, but I was handcuffed to the table. I told him that too. Piece of shit. No, never.
Did you ever kill animals? What do you think of animals?
No, never. When I was young, I hunted small game, quail, duck, pheasant, rabbit, stuff like that. And that was it. I was outdoorsman, but I ain't never killed nor tortured animals. I ain't never done none of that.
So that's another serial killer, Delmas, whatever his name is. But yeah, let's get back to the fuckery, man. I mean, it's a lot of fuckery going on. We can talk for hours about old serial killers and whatnot. But I'm gonna continue to follow this case. Let me check out the poll, man. Let's check out the poll. Pause. Let's see what's happening with this poll right here, man. We got 94 votes in. Now make sure you take the poll so we can know what you guys think. Which Ock Nation panelist is most likely to be a serial killer / thrill killer? And the overwhelming winner of this is Male Monkey.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Man, they said, man, you're. I mean, like, it's no doubt, man. You're fucking nuts, man.
I plead the fifth.
You're not offended by that, man.
Hell no, these people don't know me.
That
These people
laugh,
don't know me, man.
But that laugh was telling, man. That was a crazy laugh right there. Wow, I'm kind of concerned, man. Hey, listen, man.
Hey, Ock, you want to blow up, man? I'll do it for you, I think.
No, man. Don't do it for me. Don't give me. I ain't your Cody, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, man.
How did anyone vote for me? How did
Who was second?
How did I get
second?
thrown?
I actually thought you were gonna be first.
How did I get thrown into this?
I voted for you, man. I said you, bossy. I voted for you, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I think you. The way you talk about you, I think you definitely might. Yeah.
The way I talk is counterproductive. If that was the kind of stuff I was into, I'm actually telling people to be. I'm actually telling people to be armed. Like if I was a real killer, I want that kind of a challenge.
But yeah, but you choose your victims though. It doesn't matter if you choose your victims.
Y'all foul.
You sound like you're trying to convince us. Right now you're trying to like play a mind game on us right now, man.
No, I'm cleaning my 45 right now. Shoot.
Yeah, right. Salute to Timmy Chang. Salute to Acadia. Acadia says the profiler Phil Chalmers interviews him, and the way he laughs it up like a normal sun man is the part I want people to see. Put it in the back or send it to me, Acadia. I gotta get to some of this fuckery, man, that's going on right now, man. Give me a city, guys.
Chat something else.
Yeah, man. I think you're the prime suspect, man, on Ock Nation, man. Well, see, you the one that I would be watching out for. But hey, they say male. What's up, CA? What's up? The floor is yours, CA.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, man. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Hey, you know what's funny really quickly is that during the height of 2020, California actually found their most prolific unknown serial killer who turned out
white guy?
Who turned out to be a cop, and nobody caught on to it or made a big deal about it other than just people that
the murders were over 50 years old. No, the murders were 30 years old, right? Many of them were from back in the day, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But you have a serial killer and it's a white cop, and nobody at the height of hating cops, nobody caught on to that or made it a huge deal.
He was a sick bastard, man. Let's try. Let me see. Let's try Indianapolis, man. In
the Midwest Conference.
Yeah, man.
Hey, not to be random, T, but I was gonna say, I wonder which city's gonna be the first one, like the first murder of the year. You know?
Oh, definitely.
I know it's hard to predict.
It's gonna be New Year's Eve. I know which race is probably gonna be the first murder of the year.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go with New York just because it's just so fucking huge. But I don't know.
Chicago is going to be lit because they're not going to have any bail.
But that's not gonna take like immediate effect. That's gonna be a process.
No, as of the first.
Yeah, but they're not gonna be released immediately. They gotta motion. They gotta, you know what I mean? They gotta go to the court to get a bond. They're not just gonna be let out the front door.
No, and that's how it works in New York. In New York, they come in, they arrest the guy, and he leaves before the cops done doing his paperwork.
Yeah. Let me go ahead, bro. What you gotta say?
I think it's going to be like a 3-4 way tie.
Between who?
Between probably Chicago, New Orleans, probably Atlanta, and New York.
I think it's hard to predict, right, Chief?
I think I'll do a poll tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll do a poll, and we'll see who's gonna think what you guys think.
I vote St. Louis.
You're lagging on Memphis, man.
Yeah, Memphis. Oh God,
Check out St. Louis.
we like to do conferences, man, because I can
Oh,
only
right.
We should do squares. You know what I mean? And do it by city and the number shot New Year's Eve.
Oh,
in the first 24 hours, and I'll put like $10 a square.
You talking about like Hollywood squares?
No, like
it's a pool, like an office.
Like a pool.
Oh,
yeah.
like an office pool. Okay,
like a dead pool. You mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hell no.
Yeah, man. Let me get this some. Let me see. Let's see what's going on.
Metro Police are investigating after a child was shot in her house last night. This is the latest in a long line of minors being injured by stray gunfire in our city. Fox 59's Eric Graves walks us through what we know so far.
Just before 9 o'clock Wednesday night, police got a call out here to busy Washington Street on an 8-year-old girl who had been shot in the leg. Police say family said the bullet came from outside the house.
I mean, what? Like every city you go to, like this is the most common. This happens more. Like little kids in their homes get shot more than other people in other communities combined.
Yeah, like total. Probably in the leg more. Not even just kids shot. Kids shot in the leg. Like, God damn.
And think about the chances of being hit by a random bullet flying through the air. How many fucking bullets are flying through these neighborhoods that hit trees and cars and telephone poles?
And they always hit them in the leg. Like,
not always.
Not always. But a lot of leg shots.
Hey, earlier today I was watching the TV, right? And I saw one of the saddest news segments. It wasn't on YouTube, but long story short, it was they did an event for kids who were injured by gunfire. You should have seen these kids. It was fucking sad.
You got to put it in the back chat.
Came from outside the house.
Here's a question for you. Why is there always a shooting at the funeral for a guy who got shot?
Because the type of people that he is around in his circle, in his realm, his sphere, are those type of people that he didn't, gang members, clique members, crew members.
Right.
His ops knows right where everybody's going to be that
right.
day.
They hate him. They probably really don't like the guy that they killed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, police say family said the bullet came from outside the house.
Having a young child shot's a horrible thing.
This was the scene Wednesday night when police took a young girl with a gunshot wound out of her home on Washington Street into Riley Hospital. Police say the family told them the bullet came from outside the home.
I believe she's going to be okay. She's in stable condition and she left.
We came back Thursday morning to see if we could find more out about what happened, but nobody answered when we knocked. We did see 2 IMPD officers come by and talk to people as they came out of the home. Neighbors told us hearing gunshots isn't uncommon in the neighborhood. IMPD is asking the community for help solving what happened to this little girl.
You never know how much damage it will do to a young girl.
At 8 years old, it's when folks leave
being an 8-year-old kid and having fun.
Kareem and Crystal Hines both run youth mentoring programs for boys and girls. They say that 8-year-old is going to need support.
That trust is going to have to be rebuilt. She's going to need a positive network to, go back to.
Hines sees firsthand how gun violence has impacted our youth, saying kids younger and younger are starting to be desensitized to violence.
There's no hesitancy on their end to get involved in. There's no hesitancy on their end to grab a gun.
You hear that? There's no hesitancy. That's the way I'm trying to tell you. Like, it's just it happens so fast. It's what? Oh, bang! they're fucking. And he says young kids. I think what he really misses is young black kids.
And to grab a gun, to be curious about a gun.
What we're wanting to see is that kids return back to doing things that, kids are supposed to do, playing sports, engaging in art and music.
Hines says conflict resolution is a huge problem across the city, leading to more people pulling guns and the impacts spreading across.
When they say conflict resolution, you never hear them talk about that with any other group with sons. Like, that's like a dog whistle almost. You know what I'm saying? What they would call a dog whistle, conflict resolution.
They also never mention sons specifically when they talk about it.
Yeah, because everyone knows. Like, if there was a problem resolving a conflict that led to somebody dying in public.
No, I'll bet you a quarter. 30% of the gliders out there think there's just as many white kids doing this shit.
That right there.
That's what the problem is. I can believe that.
That's a problem.
That's terrifying though, but that's terrifying.
Yeah.
That's
you know what I'm
annoying.
saying? That lack of stupidity. I mean that level of stupidity.
Right.
I might even say it's higher than that because, like, I be around every time I'm around gliders. I swear to God, they just be aloof. They just. It's like whatever is whatever. It's got to be a high percent because that's the only way this shit can still be going on.
Yeah, most of them have never been exposed to this directly.
Yeah, they're
ever.
just getting indoctrinated on the fucking regular.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Crazy.
Cross generations.
We're starting to see the effect not only on the people that are directly involved, but now it's getting to our babies, and this has to stop.
Police say they have no new information about a suspect. They're asking anyone with any information to call Crime Stoppers. Reporting here on
this guy look like? He looks like somebody.
The one singer guy in the meme that like
Rick Ashley.
Never gonna.
Yeah,
never
Rick
gonna
Astley. Yeah. What's that song?
Never gonna.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let
You're about to get
turn
ripped
around and desert you. Never gonna say goodbye.
I'd laugh my ass off if he started singing that song. Everybody on the news.
Well, the thing about
Never
that,
gonna tell a lie and hurt you.
There's no
you ever watch that video? You see that guy looking like that.
Never gonna let you down. Never gonna turn around and hurt you.
Yeah, sing it, man. That's
Yeah,
my jam,
the
man. I love
amazing
that
thing
song.
about that video is you see that guy, and that voice comes out of that guy's mouth. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah, that guy
craziest
got a
part.
hell of a voice, man. And yeah, definitely. And the beat is hard too, man.
The video's funny too. Hey,
Oh,
I-
Angel
On
Martin.
the Near East Side, Eric.
Huh?
No, I'm talking about the chat.
What they say?
Angel Martin and I said Marcy and Nate Campbell was like Marcy knows it. He talking about the song.
Oh shit!
Damn.
Oh shit,
Chat
man.
cracks me up.
I know that. I love that song, man. When that song comes on, man, I be jamming, man.
Hey, I real quick, I put the video in the back chat, but fair warning, if it's the video that I saw, it's a tough one.
Okay. We're gonna do that next after Indy.
To our headlines here, an investigation is underway in Anderson tonight after someone burglarized a local pet food pantry. The thief was caught on camera, stealing the cash register and causing.
All right, quick. Who did this? I'm gonna say Glider because it's a pet food pantry. If it was a regular pantry, a food pantry,
True. I'm gonna say
I would
Glider.
say, well, pet food pantry. I'm gonna say Glider. What do you guys think?
Nah, he stole the entire cash register definitely
Yeah.
stuntman.
Okay.
Yeah, that ain't glider.
Hundreds of dollars in damage. But as Fox 59's Max Lewis tells us, the community has stepped up to help them get back on their feet.
It started out as any other day for Susan Blake. She showed up at her thrift store, Mitzi's Morsels, on Tuesday morning to get some work done.
I walked up to the door and it was unlocked. Came in, there was glass all over the floor, and then I saw all the wires over the counter. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, oh, okay, we've been robbed.
When she checked her surveillance cameras, she found this: a man busting into her shop, trying to open the locked cash register. And when that
You see that white paw?
That's a
That
glider.
white
Yeah, it's definitely a glider paw.
shop, trying to open the lock.
Look at that white mitt.
Yeah,
And then
okay,
also,
I changed it to meth head.
oh no! Every time a fucking white person does something, they got to be a meth head. No, this is a fucking criminal, man. Listen,
Yeah,
man.
just a regular run of the mill.
Yeah, listen. When she said, when she was so fucking like baffled that she had been robbed, that also was a red flag for me. Like she's not saying, "Oh, this stuff happens all the time over here." So that tells me that this is a glider. They don't have no sons in Anderson. They don't have no sons in Anderson, Indiana.
And there's nothing there to attract the stuntman. Like
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, for her to like walk in, like after you show up to your business and the fucking doors ajar, you walk in as a woman.
Came in, there was glass all over the floor, and then I saw all the wires over the counter. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, oh, okay, we've been robbed.
When she checked her surveillance cameras, she found this: a man busting into her shop, trying to open the locked cash register. And when that didn't work, he decided to just take the whole thing with him.
And as if taking the register wasn't enough, the thief also stuck his hand right in this donation jar and took all the cash inside.
Altogether, Blake says she's out close to $1,000.
You feel so violated that somebody's coming in this space that you've worked really hard to, provide a great service for our low-income families.
Blake started her thrift store 3 years ago to help low-income people obtain food and supplies for their pets. All the revenue goes to provide free
How
spaying
could
and
they have low-income people in the all-white town? That doesn't make any sense. And white people are rich.
neutering services. And when word spread about what had happened, people stepped up to help.
Who robs a rescue or, a not-for-profit, especially around the holidays?
Paula Mottweiler runs a local hair salon and had been collecting donations for Blake's store. When she heard what happened, she headed straight there with more than $500 in cash and lots of pet supplies.
You could see the relief in her that, it just made her feel better that I think that, someone showed up and cared that
This
day.
woman was already accepting donations for the store before the crime had happened. We different, dog.
And it didn't stop there. Blake says the Madison County Community Foundation started a fundraiser and is matching up to $1,000 in donations. After falling victim to people at their worst, she says it was wonderful.
And she ain't even put up a GoFundMe. Think about this. This ain't the GoFundMe. This before the GoFundMe.
Also, see them at their best.
We have to be a little bit more diligent, but there's still good people in the world. There's a lot of good people in the world.
In Anderson, Max Lewis, Fox 59 News.
Blake says they received some tips about the identity of the robber, and those have been forwarded now to police. If you'd like to donate, we have.
Okay, same. This place is Indianapolis, man, area, man. It's getting kind of sketchy over there, man. Let's see. Hold on, here go one. Okay.
A Columbus woman tried to get protection from her husband days before they were both found dead in her home.
Court documents show a Bartholomew County judge denied a protection order for Julie Newman just 10 days before she was killed. Fox 59's Courtney Crown went to Columbus today to understand what options a victim has after a denial.
Julie Newman tried to get protection from her estranged husband by going through the judicial system, a system that her family insists failed her. Tonight, they're sharing her story in hopes it will help protect someone else.
Patty Yao and Craig Yao never imagined they'd be together in Indiana, returning baby clothes for a grandbaby they would never meet.
Julie was so thrilled to have this baby girl. She had her room ready with almost a year's worth of clothes. So we are here returning baby clothes.
On December 19th, their funny, devoted, faithful daughter, Julie Ann Newman, was killed, and they say her estranged husband, Charles Schmidtke, is to blame.
All I can think of is you hear a psychopath is very charming. He was very charming.
Patty says Charles broke into the home on December 19th while Julie's 12-year-old and 9-year-old sons were home and ended her life.
When she got to the end of the hall, Charles took her legs and pulled her into the master bedroom. As he was closing the door, he was looking across the hall at Landon with a smile on his face.
Court records show Julie previously tried to get protection from Charles.
I think the police tried.
What would have a protection order have done in this case? What would that guy have said? Oh man, she got a piece of paper, man. I can't go over there and kill her and kill myself.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, sometimes you gotta fuck all that law shit. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. If you know a motherfucker crazy, to get the hell on or shoot him on sight.
Yeah, man. I don't think. Yeah.
I mean, some dudes respect it. Some people
And
do respect
IMPD
the paper.
continues investigating violent crime from overnight, including 2 shootings. 3 people were hurt, but fortunately they did survive.
As 2022 ends, police and city outreach workers reflect on the safety progress they've made, and they tell Fox 59's Courtney Crown the work is far from finished.
IMPD stayed busy overnight. At 11:30 p.m., a man was shot in a bar parking lot on West Morris Street. Just before midnight, officers say a shooting happened near Man Road on the southwest side. Less than an hour later, police found a man they say was injured in a home on West 36th.
Our detectives are continuously working through the night to hold those
It's a
accountable.
lot of black people in Indianapolis stuff. Like the fucking anchors, the police, everybody black.
Responsible.
The latest round of crime happened just before New Year's Eve. Police hope for a peaceful weekend.
We hope that those who are thinking about doing crimes or whatnot, that they see that and say, hey, you're going to be held accountable.
Officers say they're extra prepared for any of the crowds that this weekend will bring.
Our entertainment zones, such as downtown, Broad Ripple, we always have extra officers out.
IMPD says last night's crime is disturbing, but officers are relieved shootings and homicides are down for the year. The city's data shows a 12.5% decrease in non-fatal shootings and a 16% decrease in murders, which leaders say is about 3 times the national average.
The way that we describe it to people, it's showing that we're not finished with the work that we're doing.
The Office of Public Health and Safety's data shows 55 non-fatal incidents with a total of 63 victims from December 1st through December 30th last year.
This year, December 1 through December 30th, we've had 40 incidents with 44 victims. So that's roughly a 30% decrease.
As 2022 ends, OPHS's leadership hopes the community remembers every person matters and help for issues like mental illness, anger management, and addiction.
You know, the thing about them bragging about how the crime numbers are down XYZ%, and then they tell you the number and the number's still absurd. That could just be statistical anomalies, right?
Absolutely. And then really, the only reason they're saying non-fatal is better doctors, better healthcare, shit like that. And I tell you, motherfucking shot. We should just start at that number. And you know what I mean? That's a problem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People are living today that would have died in 2000.
Absolutely.
Simply because of what we've learned about gunshot wounds from Iraq and Afghanistan.
In Blakistan.
Just simply the medical products like the chest seals, the clotting gauze, that kind of stuff. It's game changers with gunshot wounds.
Chest seals.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a new one, man. I haven't.
Yeah, so it doesn't collapse your lung. If you get hit in the lung, it's gonna suck air in.
Yeah, that's how cops save stuntmen all the time, right?
Yeah, chest seals. If you ever see them ripping up a piece of plastic, it could be a plastic bag. They got to seal that wound up to keep the air out of the chest cavity.
And they didn't know that 20 years ago.
They did, but there wasn't specifically products made for it.
That's where the phrase "sucking chest wound" comes from.
Yeah.
You know, I carry an IFAC with me, believe it or not, in the car.
Oh yeah. Everybody should.
An
What's
IFAC.
the iPad?
Individual first aid kit.
Yeah.
Oh, iPad.
So yeah, it has like, you know, tourniquet, the chest seal.
But we had never heard
the
of that
gauze,
shit. iPad.
black
You got an
eye,
Israeli bandage in there.
the Israeli bandage.
A what bandage?
The Israeli bandage.
What the hell is that?
What does that do?
It's a pressure dressing. It's a bandage designed with a plastic tab, so you can use one thing as a pressure dressing. It allows you to tighten it and secure it.
Put it like this, you just never know with I mean, the Umbritos for sure, but you never know with the Sun Brothers.
I gotta get one of them IFAC things, man.
I got a basement full of it, man. I'll set.
Yeah, I have to give you my.
Shoot me an address, man. I'll shoot you a kit.
Do you really, man? They're not cheap.
Yeah, dude, I got it. I worked in Afghanistan and Iraq for 10 years, man.
Did you steal from Uncle Sam, man?
No, I did not steal from Uncle Sam.
It's a joke. Relax.
I reacquired.
You borrowed it?
You can make your own.
Let's see. I'm looking for that story because the link you gave me, it doesn't have it.
There's not a video in that story.
No,
I thought I saw a video in there.
No, there's not.
Huh? Yeah, it's not on the internet. I couldn't find it earlier, but it was deep. It was a lot.
Only on 2. A Chicago police officer is recovering after a fight at a crime scene. And tonight we've learned the man who started the fight was there to help his brother, a shooting victim. CBS 2's Jermont Terry spoke to the mother of the 2 young men who has double the worry tonight. He is live at police headquarters. Jermont.
Erica, one son sits in the hospital, the other sits in police custody. This mother is concerned after a pull-up at a Southside gas station led to both her sons not coming home tonight. Chicago police surrounded this BP gas station after multiple people with guns opened fire on a man getting gas.
Mostly grazed he in the shoulder, face, and the arm.
Latasha Bradley sits in the car her son was filling up when the gunman targeted him.
Somebody he shot back, and he's at the hospital right now.
And how old is your son?
He's in the military. He's 25.
Several bullets went off. Those gunshots shattered windows of other cars at the gas station off 87th and the Den.
That man was ready. Is that what you're talking about, Monty? You gonna be ready like that when some man just starts shooting at you?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, what you got at that point? What do you got to lose?
Right.
Bullet
I mean,
holes
your
were
freedom,
also
but no
visible
big deal.
in the building. Turns out, moments after getting shot, Bradley's son called home and spoke to his teenage brother.
He ran out and he ran here.
Yet when the teenage brother arrived, he quickly crossed the police tape and disregarded the officers on scene.
He's in shock. He sees him on the ground and he's hugging him.
Bradley tells me her teenage son suffers from ADHD and she believes his anxiety overcame him.
He ran to him and they tried to separate him from him and he exploded. And if I would have been here, I probably could have calmed him down, but it escalated so fast.
Her teenage son started fighting with police to the point one officer was taken to the hospital.
They said he fought with them and he was resisting.
By the time this mother arrived to the gas station, she found out police arrested her teenage son and her oldest son was in the hospital injured with gunshot wounds.
They've never been in trouble with police.
Meanwhile, the shooters who started all this drama.
What do you think about that? You think they've never been in trouble with police? You think it's your first rodeo? You come down to the scene of your brother being shot and start kicking police officers' asses? You think that's your first rodeo?
I mean, it could be, believe it or not, you know. But I doubt it.
Still on the run.
If he was experienced in crime, he would know about crime scene tape and not to cross it at least.
He's emotional. His brother is down, man down.
Yeah.
Now, we're told that there is surveillance video of the shooting, which should also shed some light on that tussle between the youngest son and the officer.
Oh, now it's a tussle. The cops in the hospital, but it's a tussle.
Fuck 12.
How old was the 17 that whooped the cop's ass?
17.
Oh yeah.
He was probably a big 17 though.
Yeah, then his big brother was probably like the good brother. He was like, man, my brother in the military, he ain't even with all that shit. But nah, he probably been in it a few times.
And I love how they just automatically think that the cops should know that that's his brother.
Right. Like
even if it is his brother, it's like you can't come in the crime scene.
Exactly. Jump in the back of the ambulance. Go to a hospital.
Chicago police are promising a highly visible presence around the city this weekend, with an additional 1,300 officers patrolling neighborhoods, high-traffic shopping areas, and on the CTA.
We all play a role in our safety. There's no reason we all can't have a safe and happy New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
But the sad reality is that these big crime statistics often involve some of our youngest residents. This year, there were more than 100 kids killed by gunfire in Chicago, with an untold.
I mean, listen, we all know that some of these son teens are pieces of shit and they're out there. But just that number is just like, just this. I mean, regardless of that number is huge. 100 kids killed in one city by gunfire.
Oh, it wasn't the gun that killed them. Well, the gun, I guess, was a tool used to kill them, but it wasn't the gun that killed them.
Yo, that number is too big.
But that's kill.
I think we should call it Sunfire from now on.
Yeah.
Sunburn.
Yeah, we're starting to get jaded because that's a huge number.
Is that these big crime statistics often involve some of our youngest residents. This year, there were more than 100 kids killed by gunfire in Chicago, with an untold number affected in other ways. Sarah Maki found out how one group is trying to make sure the city's kids have hope heading into the new year.
At the Salvation Army in Englewood.
I'd have to grab them like this.
Call this one last special delivery straight from the North Pole.
We'll go make a trip and come back.
But these gifts don't go down the chimney, not placed under the tree. It's a post-Christmas party for a unique group, a club nobody wants to join. Each of these families brought together by gun violence.
This is my daughter, my firstborn, Nazaria London Moore, 12 years old. She was gunned down by a stray bullet 2 blocks away on her 12th birthday.
Jesus Christ.
I remember this one.
You remember her?
They grabbed the victims of white supremacy that killed her.
Oh, really? Okay. Damn.
But it's not their fault, because, slavery.
Yeah, definitely, man. And the school to prison pipeline, man.
Nairee Moore wears her daughter's photo over her heart. Her brothers, well, she's got their back.
Every day it's hard because they was also sitting right next to their sister when the bullet hit her.
Jesus Christ.
Family was coming home from Naziria's 12th birthday when she was hit by that stray bullet. After months without answers, police have arrested 2 people while her brothers focus on healing.
I told her how I feel about her passing. I told her.
In a city that is often besieged by bullets, this event tries to temporarily blunt grief with gifts because each of these kids, through a parent, a sibling, or themselves, has been affected by gun violence.
Bringing families back together around the table, instead of just running to these crime scenes all the time.
This is a moment where families can pull out their phones to make the kind of memories that kids deserve.
One day at a time. That's something my daughter taught me when I lost my sister. She always said, Mom, one day at a time.
One day at a time until those days turn into a new year.
Jesus Christ, man, what a sad.
Yeah. But looking at this video just reminds me how much the liberals suck.
Yeah, they don't have any idea that this is going on.
And that's
because of their policies, though. But because of their policies, in part,
they cape for the gunmen. They
exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
And if 100 died, how many were shot?
A shit ton.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
Holy shit!
bro, 100. I mean, failed victim. And look, they keep showing 12-year-olds. They're not even talking. I doubt if they're even including teenagers after a certain age.
Yeah, not 18 probably, 17. So who's got that? Somebody got the echo in the back, man. We do something about that. Jeez. Jesus Christ, man.
Another one of
Yeah,
the
put that in your
victims,
pipe, right?
26-year-old Abdul Sharifu, who died after leaving his home to buy groceries for the people in his apartment complex on Christmas Eve. This is just days before his 27th birthday. The 7 News reporter Sidney Ure shows us tonight he and his wife were expecting their first child together.
We actually now we're not doing good. We're not doing good, and his wife is not doing good too. He's so bad right now.
Ali Sharifu says his cousin Abdul Sharifu left his home around noon on Christmas Eve, but when Abdul never returned home, his family began to worry.
We tried to call the police to ask them if they find him. They say not.
Ali says they found his cousin's car on Utica and Main Street, but Abdul was not inside. A Facebook tip pointed them to Bailey and Broadway, where Savannah Jordan says she saw Abdul laying in the snow.
I took off my coat and I took off my jacket, trying to wrap him in it.
Jordan says she worked to get Abdul to Buffalo General Medical Center right away, but says the emergency room entrance was completely blocked with snow.
So we went to the main entrance and we see people outside. There was a security guard and a couple of nurses, about 4 or 5 of them, like either nurses or medical assistants. So we're yelling, we're like, we need to bring him in right now. He's about to die.
Jordan claims after nearly 45 minutes of pleading, no one there would help.
They looked at us like, you got to go to the emergency room protocol, sorry, and they walked away from us.
Jordan says they quickly rushed Abdul across the street to Oshai Children's Hospital.
As soon as we got to Children's, his eyes opened. So I'm like, okay, maybe we got this. Like, we saved him. Maybe he's okay, but he didn't make it.
Ali says he was heartbroken to learn of his cousin's death and believes language barriers often complicate things during emergencies.
If they put like something bad like this, they have to help everybody for all their language. You know, some language they can change it, like Swahili, China, Japanese. Sometimes I feel like because I'm not speaking the language, that's why they do that, you know.
Ali says it hurts to...
Jesus Christ.
Maybe you should learn that language of the country you moved into.
Yeah, I mean that would be a great idea, man.
Do you know what it would cost to keep interpreters on staff at these hospitals?
Yeah, a lot. A lot.
All right, let's talk about the suspect and the judge who made this decision, not once but twice, essentially, to put this criminal back on the streets. Last night, you had poignant, very strong words for the judge. You didn't name her. You were asked to name her. You didn't name her. Our reporting has identified her as San Bernardino County Judge Cara Hudson. I'm curious, what do you think the recourse for her should be?
There's probably a lot of different answers for that. I think that what she should do is resign. She's proving that she has absolutely no business in the position that she is. I will say that with this suspect's past and the horrendous things that he has done, and the proof where he has proven over and over and over that he should be locked up, and for her to let him out repeatedly, and then this happened.
Who's that? That's a glider, right? Sun glider? That's a sun glider.
Yeah, that's a sun glider for real.
Man, I'm gonna say glider. Fuck it. Let's just give it to him. I fucking don't have it.
You can't tell me that something this heinous
Oh,
is
yeah.
the first time she is.
What's that?
Yeah, he's a glider. That's a 1% bike symbol.
Oh, you know that thing. So what is that? A bike club? A bike gang?
The Nazi bikers?
That's criminal bikers are the 1%ers.
Okay.
Right, like a Nazi biker crew, right? Or some shit.
No, not necessarily Nazi.
Isn't there one called the Nazi
criminal
lowriders?
bikers, man.
Yeah,
Man, you've been watching too many Internet memes, man.
I promise you, there's
Has
something
done
called
that.
that. I'll
There
look it
are
up.
many
Oh no,
other
there is, but
suspects
he's
that are
probably
out there
not one
running
of those because then it
You
would
just-
be a big Nazi symbol. He'd have Nazi tats on.
1% Nazi symbol, whatever.
Yeah.
No, there's a difference.
Yeah, definitely. The 3%ers are much different than these guys too.
What's the difference? They believe in like the white Aryan shit, right? The Aryans.
No.
All this shit means different shit.
1% clubs are like shit. Oh man, now I'm trying to think. Like the Hell's Angels, that's a 1%er club.
Okay. They badass white boys.
They're the 1% of bad
is
bikers
the
out there.
first
That's
time
what
she
it
has
stands
done
for.
that. There are many other suspects that are out there running free, victimizing the rest of us because she is not doing her job. She should quit. That's what should happen. But if she does not have the integrity to do that, then I think that the citizens of San Bernardino should do something. And to recall a judge is certainly something. It's unfortunate. Sometimes we don't pay attention to who we're electing as judges, and some people don't even know that judges are elected. They get in those positions for the most part. And in this judge's case, she's a political appointee. That is what a lot of people don't understand is judges are political appointees. Like today, for instance, you will never see Governor Newsom appoint a conservative constitutional attorney to a judgeship in California. That is not going to happen with this governor. And so the judges are political. Once they get into office, it's very, very hard to get them out. They stay there until they want to leave because people really don't pay attention or care about their elections. And I think that
She's pissed that he just said that. She looks pissed.
God forbid you give them a platform to tell the truth.
I want to see about this guy because I know this guy was a bad person, man. Bad guy who did this shit, man.
I think they ought to charge these judges with accessory to murder.
Here it is. Here it goes.
Thank you.
William McKay is his name, a career criminal, now 44. His arrest record goes back to when he was in his 20s. He was on the street, as best as we can tell, for a very simple reason that even after his conviction, the judge didn't order him into custody, but granted him bail. A career criminal. That's how the Riverside County Sheriff describes William McKay. He should have been in prison, the sheriff says, not on the streets to murder his deputy.
we're here to protect people. And who's protecting us?
Talking with Gigi Graciette on Good Day LA, Sheriff Chad Bianco detailed William McKay's criminal history: kidnapping, robbery, assaults with deadly weapons. He should have been behind bars.
Sunman, typical, run of the mill Sunman. You know what I'm saying? Run of the mill.
Under California's 3 strikes law after a recent conviction, but was granted bail by a judge in Rancho Cucamonga before sentencing.
If that judge is going to let him out of jail, how many others have been let out? This is not isolated. This is a movement within the justice system that for some reason we feel sorry for criminals.
Bianco didn't name the judge, but Fox 11 reviewed San Bernardino County's publicly available court records, identifying Judge Kara Hudson on the bench since 2007. Her courtroom was closed today. No one from San Bernardino County courts responded to our request for comment. A statement from the district attorney was critical of the judge. A failure in the process to separate McKay from society and hold him accountable for his crimes has resulted in the tragic loss of a law enforcement deputy.
That judge knew what his record was, and he should have been in jail. This Riverside County deputy sheriff should not have been killed.
Tanya Owen knows all about tragic loss. Her LA County deputy husband, Steve, was murdered by a parolee in 2016. Since then, she's been active in efforts that emphasize victims' rights over criminals. Was there in June to support the family of 2 slain El Monte officers by a felon on probation. Owen, a retired deputy herself, will be there to support Deputy Isaiah Cordero's family if called on.
All we really expect as law enforcement officers is for those people that are in charge that are in the justice system hold these people accountable, because all they're doing now is just emboldening criminals to go out there and commit crimes because they know they're not going to be held accountable.
Damn. California, man.
That's a lot of slain officers by people that should be locked up. God damn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In one place.
Somebody's got to do it, right, Ike? Somebody's got to chase the sun, man, right, Ike?
Yeah, I mean, you got to. I mean, Jesus Christ. And then now you got this white guy doing it too. So, I mean, maybe, hopefully, since it's a white guy that did this, we can get some attention to it.
So the questions, of course, for the judge, which she is not answering, why she released him on bail. It's a complicated legal history of this man. His sentence was pending. He was arrested, apparently, Christina Marla, for multiple crimes and released each time. So questions the judge will at some point have to answer when she comes back to the bench after the Christmas and New Year's holiday. Live in Rancho Cucamonga, I'm Phil Schuman, Fox 11 News.
Some big issues to think about, Phil. Thank you.
Rancho Cucamonga, man. Salute,
That's a weird ass name.
Yeah, it's been a great show, man. Salute everybody, man.
Hey,
yeah,
can you pull up that chart I sent you?
Where you sent it to my email?
Yeah, I sent it to 3, I think.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
Let me see here. Or 2. I sent it to Ocnation 2.
Okay. All right.
And I wanted Wicked to see what it's going to take, what it took with the last crime bill.
Okay.
There you go.
Let's see.
I mean, I know what it's gonna take. But I think we all know that. What I'm arguing is when.
And this is going to show you that, man. Sadly.
Yesterday.
Homicide victimization rates by race, 1980 to 2008. Wow, the white one is steady. You know what I'm saying? And it's going down slightly. The black has gone down very much, but it's still extremely high.
After the crime bill.
Yeah, from the crime bill. And it's this graph stops at what, 2008?
Yeah.
So this number is probably up here now. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up. God damn.
So
you know how many bodies that represents?
Oh my God, 100,000.
Yeah, 1,000. Yeah.
I know.
So what
this
about
graph
what is this?
200,000. 200. I would say 200,000. This graph.
So what does this mean to? What does that mean to the point, man?
This is the time frame. You can track the beginning of crack cocaine to the 94 crime bill.
Okay, but that doesn't answer my question of when. I'm very familiar with
yesterday.
That's the amount of bodies it's going to take, man.
Look at 1980. 1980 is pretty high, and then it goes down. 85 is actually lower than 1980.
Yeah, because Reagan came into presidency, took the presidency from Carter, and went hard on crime.
And then it goes back up under Bush. And then it goes down after the crime bill. Yeah, this is the crime bill right here, 94. 94, this is the crime bill. 94 right there.
the Joe Biden crime bill.
Yeah, the Biden-Clinton crime bill. Who you want to get credit for it?
Yeah, no, I mean, that doesn't tell me much, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Do you see what he's saying?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I see what he's
Look at
saying.
that rise in crime that it took.
He's saying that these little punk ass 2.5 years of post Floyd America isn't enough. They need like maybe
This
10,
is
15 years.
what the crime you're seeing now is nothing compared to the 80s.
We're breaking records, man.
No, you're not.
Since it's the biggest.
You're breaking records in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
You're not breaking records.
Have you seen no, Philly's breaking, St.
Philly
Louis
has the most murders since 1990.
Louisville, they're breaking records. You should have pulled up the numbers for the 70s, Mayo. They were violent, probably more than this. The 70s were very violent, Mayo.
Yeah, I mean, I think though, yeah. Look at obviously if 80s right here, the 1980s up here, the 70s was probably very violent. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, we talked about that the other day. The crack did not destroy the black community.
It was the heroin, it was the DNA, and it was the white man
in slavery
and poverty.
Yeah, exactly. But even
and pork chops.
But yeah, we'll see, FEMA. Man. Yeah, man, we'll see, man. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Salute to everybody, man, that came through tonight. New Year's Day show. We're gonna go hard tomorrow, man. Make sure you tune in, man. Peace out, everybody.
Hold it down.
Man, y'all be safe. One love.
Yeah, y'all have a good night.
Hey, Mayo.
Hey, what's up, man?